Party and fist, party and fist. You can be sure that we're both on a list. Party and fist, party and fist. You can be sure that we make the moves pissed. Streaming through history, uncovering mysteries as to why the whites are living in misery. We keep the audience salivating as we continue navigating through centuries of adventures of the ever-evolving small hat wizardry. Party and fist, party and fist. Let us show you what you might have missed.
And if I didn't know any better, fellas, I would say that we're live.
We're live. We're live again. Oh my God, it seems so long since the last show, which was like, what, 2 days ago? Mate, my brain is like breaking here. Artie's like, get back in the box, slave. We're going to do another show. I'm like, no.
Yeah, he didn't already have a sleeve of pages of, international relations to cover,
Yeah, I did actually. We had like a whole thing on like what's going on in
Check
Iran.
the man's sleeves.
Yeah,
and I'm like, hold on, dude. Before we get to the international stuff, some quality primo slop just dropped today,
Mate, you are the slop merchant extraordinaire, mate. Right? Nobody farms that slop like you, right? Like we should buy you some like big fucking like field out in Montana, right? And you can just be a humble slop farmer, right? Like, look, slop is valuable, right? Like the people want the goy slop, right? The people demand it. Oh, mate, we should start like an industrial thing. We could like print our own like 3D meat on site, right? Like, we could call it like Artie's Goy Ranch.
I like to think of it as homemade digital slop, just like Mom used to make.
That's true. That's true. I harken back to the days when digital slop, was home baked, right? Came with like, the bit of cinnamon seasoning. You could smell it like cooking on the windowsill. Oh, a bald eagle would like fly out and perch on the windowsill next to it with an American flag in its hand and an AR-15 in the other. Oh, it's beautiful. It's the first show of the new year. Happy 2026 as we go towards the great reset. I'm looking forward to it, mate. I feel like I haven't been reset enough, right? We've had the mini reset, but like the little button inside my brain has popped back out. I really need like Klaus Schwab to reach into my brain with his big sausage fingers and just like press that button again, right? The great reset. You looking forward to it, Artie?
Well, I mean, people are, I don't know if James Lindsay is going to want to hear this, but people are waking up to what's going on.
Oh,
a lot of people are waking up to what's going on, and it's happening in the UK. It's happening across the world, across the Western world, I should say.
Anti-citrus.
I think it's a bit anti-citrus, mate. Not allowed to. Yeah. People
You're not allowed to wake up. Waking up is anti-citrus.
People do seem to be. The narrative does seem to be turning the poor precious narrative, right? He's got to be protected, right? We need like an American action hero, right, to like throw himself bodily in front of the bullets and be like, the precious narrative, no.
You're right. So that'll be the hero. We already know that the villain is the buttered kippa. We just have to think of what to name the hero. Okay, maybe we could spend some time in chat. Chat can come up with who the hero is supposed to fight. The villainous buttered kippa. We still need an AI representation of what that would look like as well.
I'm going
a lot of work to be done in the background.
I'm going to take you down, buttery kippa. You're not going to, do your weird buttery plans.
So your greasy plans.
Honestly, that sounds like the action movie hit of 2026, bros, right? Like, we could call it lactose action.
It'll work.
Oh,
There's a lot to
fuck.
work with there. I mean, there's a lot of. Here's the thing. I feel like the reason why the stream has some legs underneath it is because there's an untapped well of comedy in the things that we talk about and poke fun of.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
it's the elephant in the room, but like this is an untapped well of comedy because people are afraid to talk about it. So there's all of these jokes to make that are just like sitting there staring at you that we're just taking advantage of. It really it is effortless.
And but not only that, right? Like the intensity of the laugh is directly proportional to the tension of the subject, right? Like, so
Hey, that wasn't a nervous laugh, by the way.
so if you think about it, right? Like, you know, the more forbidden, the more profane, right? The subject is, right? The more laughs there are to be had. It's a rich, unmined vein of comedy gold, or I guess comedy silver now, because like, you know, silver's fucking like going like crazy. Comedy silver. You all right, mate? You doing all right? You having a good new year and stuff?
I'm just, dude, I'm on the grind, man. So here's the thing. Here's what I'm having trouble deciding right now. So this was an hour-long conversation, which we're going to show a little bit later on, between Nick Fuentes, Joel Webbon. Now, Joel Webbon, Protestant. However, I've only really heard good things from him, and I've mentioned some things that he said on Tim Pool, like blasphemy laws that I support as an atheist. But he goes into a little more detail with them. Now, this is episode 1 of a 10-part series, okay? So he has 10 hours recorded of this conversation. And so this is going to stretch out into the middle of March, okay?
Did he do these all in like one?
No, it was
over
over
10-hour session
over the course
or?
of a few days.
Right. I was about to say,
Now,
like 10
here's
hours.
the thing. Here's the thing, fellas. If you go to his Patreon, Joel Webbon's, on his new network, I'll show it to you. $10 a month, $10, you get all of them now, right? So
Cool.
I'm thinking that I'm just going to watch all of them like over the weekend. And I don't know what I'm going to do on Monday. I might do like a synopsis of all of them because I want to, as a humble content merchant, I like to be like the first or, you know, close to the first of like covering something. These are all already available right now. So I don't know what I'm going to do quite yet, but I want to watch all of them, take my notes on them, maybe do a synopsis of each. I don't know, but I'm going to watch all of them over the weekend.
You're going to seize the opportunity. Do you think Joel Webbon might be a bit pissy if you go behind the paywall, extract all the content, and then do like things on them before they're like being made public?
No, because I feel like people will then want to. It'll be promotional, so I can. I know how to do it ethically, where I'm not showing a bunch of it. But I think it would. Well, it's not. It doesn't have a ton of views on it compared to like other Nick Fuentes interviews. So I think he just wants it to get out there any way, shape, or form. But obviously, I'm not going to be ripping off the content. I would show maybe like 2 or 3 minutes or of like the best or spiciest parts or most interesting parts. But we'll get a feel for it today. So instead of just watching stuff, fellas, in 2025, we're trashing stuff. We're being deconstructionist. What do we have to like prescribe for dissident right wingers? Right. I want to listen to more conversations and have like open-ended conversations about them, about the direction of the what the global Western white right wing is what I'm.
So you want to present the positive vision is what you're saying, right? As
or obstacles that are there, or what parts we agree with and don't agree with, and foster more of a cohesive identity for the Western dissidents.
Yeah, nice. I like it. I like it. Sounds like a good New Year's Eve resolution. Yeah, absolutely. Shall we do some? We got some super chats coming in already. Let's
do we already?
Already.
Oh
yeah,
I mean, people, I'm barely dressed. They just walk in on you here. Okay, fine.
Look, mate, our audience aren't fancy like that, right? You know, they'd still give you super chats even if you just dressed in your manky tracksuit, your shell suit. New GM at $10.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. I need to get the I need to get the graphics.
Hieroglyphic. I wonder what this means. It's just
N. It's wait, no, I know what this is, right? This is a secret signal from our Qatari and Russian controllers, right? That we need to now initiate Plan N.
Yes, we have to initiate it.
Initiate. That's right. Exactly.
Thank you very much,
thank you very much, New GN. Our
you went for it.
Qatari contact. Excellent. Big time. Oh, for $20.
Big time, and again.
Look at him go. That's just for the intro.
Wow.
Amazing. But can you sneak in some wooden doors? I have a fascination for wooden doors attached to ventilation. Press to you and fist. Thank you very much, Big Time. God bless you in the new year,
Well,
mate.
Big Time, you should know, if you're not watching later, I'll tell you now, that was actually an advertisement for Joel Webbon's book. What is it? The Heretic Hyphenation. And
heretical hyphenation. Yeah, I'm gonna read it. I already got the sample. It sounds
nice.
quite
Yeah.
interesting.
Oh,
yeah,
that'll be very interesting.
Oh, actually, yeah, because if I read it and then we cover some of his
Now
stuff
we're thinking.
with Fuentes, that would be very, very interesting.
Now we're thinking. Very nice.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Big Time again. Oh my God.
Thank you, mate.
He's a maniac. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, please have mercy on us sinners. Go to liturgy, Artie.
It's down the street.
Relax.
It's 15 minutes away. I could probably walk there. It's so close to me.
I'm just look.
A Greek Orthodox church.
If God is meant to reach out to Artie, right, it'll happen. Thank you very much, Big Time. New GM.
Yeah, he would need to have me ooh, all right. Oh wow. Oh, okay. All right, fine. Have it your way.
For $10, thank you very much. The arch enemy of the buttery kipper.
Thank you.
The fresh scoofia. What is a scoofia? I have no idea what even that is.
We might be about to learn something right now because we learn things from our chat every day.
That's right. That's right. We is luring on this program, mate.
I don't know if that's some sort of swear in some other language. I have no. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wow. You might want to put on screen what a scoofy is.
What is it? Do tell.
It is a soft brimless cap worn by Orthodox Christian clergy, monastics, and some Eastern Catholic clerics.
Throw it up on the
right.
Throw it up on the screen. No, that's not it. Scoofia. Okay. I'll have to look that up. Thank you very much, New GM. Suck Duck for $10. First things first. Everyone on the right goes to the local high church.
Whoa!
High church, absolutely. Look, the low church is, it's not going to do you much good, mate. You need to do the high church. And last remembrance for $2. Look at me. I'm the embezzler now.
Look at me.
I am the embezzler now.
Very nice.
Okay, so that's all the super chats we've got for the moment. Shall we slide into
the wheels are greased.
The traditional Lindsay opener.
He's a good opener, okay?
We tried
him on as a feature. We tried him on as a closer. He works really good as the host of an open mic, perhaps, That's as far as he can go.
I don't know, man, right? He's like the avatar of the kosher centrist, you know what I mean, right? He just embodies the goodest goy, sort of it's amazing, quite frankly.
Hold on one second.
Oh, the scoofia. Oh, I've seen those. Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Zoom the picture in, mate. Zoom the picture in, so that everyone can. Yeah. Right. A fresh scoofia. That does look like quite a fresh one. Oh, those robes are amazing. Man, have you seen the robes that some of the Orthodox monks wear? They literally look like they're straight out of Warhammer 40,000. Right? It's insane.
So we're going in the direction for the hero arc.
Yeah, they're all covered in Greek phrases and stuff. They look amazing. I saw a picture of an Orthodox monk on a train, and I really kind of want one of those robes now. But I probably can't wear one because I'm not a monk and unlikely to be one. By the way, to be frank,
I would assume that.
Right. Yeah, look, hey man, wisdom is realizing your limitations, and I
exactly know your place. Exactly. I can't stress that enough. Oh, he's sneaking in. Oh, dude, fucking dread.
For 1488 Canadian loonies, thank you very much, mate. If there was anything I learned from the last time we had a dissonant right movement, it's to gatekeep women from it. Yeah. Watching all the tea spilled from right-wing trash Barbies was shocking. Yeah.
Well,
They get you.
Joel Webbon, I believe, has said that every female conservative influencer is a feminist.
Yeah.
So him and Fuentes do have a lot of overlap, and what they're doing is building a bridge between all the Christian faiths.
Yeah.
To be more cohesive, which is good.
I mean, it is kind of baked in, right? Like if a woman thinks that she sort of has a future in politics, then that's basically sort of feminist by definition, really, because the trad Christian position really is like women don't belong in politics because men already make enough of a hash of it as it is, and women are even worse at it.
So would you say you're an anti-Femite?
Yeah, I guess
technically, right?
I mean, but only
you're against the Femitic people.
But only because, they've done such a terrible job with it, right? I'm very like results based. You know what I mean, right? Like if females had flooded into politics and all of a sudden everything in government had gotten like way better and like they'd enacted like these policies that like we'd be on Mars by now and stuff, I wouldn't have a problem. But it's just they're even worse like than the men are. So
that's the funny thing is like. It's not that like necessarily the atheist in me that's pro-Christian. It's the liberal in me, the free market place of ideas of like, that seems to be the best idea. That seems to be the best one. And I feel like, an actual liberal would be like, I don't know. You can't be like a liberal cultist. It's so fucking cringe, dude, to even say it, but it seems like that's what's happening and it just doesn't work.
See, in Christianity, they call that the fruits, right? Because, like there's that whole thing, right? You look at two trees, like, is it a good tree or a bad tree? Like, how can you tell? And you wait until, they, not give birth. What happens when they bear fruit, when they bear fruit.
Yeah.
Right. And then you can like compare the fruit between the two. And like, one of them like gives tasty, delicious fruit. And you're like, that is a good tree. And the other one gives like crappy fruit. You're like, that's the bad tree, because until it, it bears the fruits, it's hard to tell.
Now, how would you describe, based on what you know, the fruit of James Lindsay? How would you describe it? What does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? How would you? We don't have smell-o-vision yet in the future. Okay, so how would you describe James Lindsay's fruit?
I feel it would smell like kippers and regret and possibly pineapple pizza. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I imagine those trees would be quite rare. You could probably find a few like next to the Wailing Wall, possibly in Tel Aviv.
Right. I like to imagine that James Lindsay's fruit is so rotten it's fermenting into alcohol as we speak.
Actually, I bet you could make like something like really life destroying from that.
Yeah.
Fruit. Like,
the thing's fucking potent.
yeah. You just distill it into alcohol and it completely like wipes your ability to tell good from evil. And you're just like, actually, right? Or you wake up the next day and you're like, hey, all those evil people over there, they seem to have some really, really good ideas.
Right.
So we have a New Year's message from Dr. Lindsay. Give him his proper moniker. Being a loser who hates Israel was a really ugly 2025 thing, and 2025 is officially over. So there you go. Right? 2025 is over. Jokes are over, bros, right? It's time to like knuckle down and get back into the post-war consensus, right? We've got a war with Iran to fight. Right. Okay, right? And I don't want to hear any of this like anti-Israel stuff. We're going to war with Iran. Well, I mean, Artie, right?
Wait, what?
You specifically, you're going to war with Iran.
How do you know that? Why are you so certain of that?
Oh, well, I mean, like I got into the voter rolls and you're on there, mate. You're going to be drafted. Yeah. Well, I'm absolutely, because they've been talking about it for like literally fucking like 20 years, basically, about how they're going to collapse the Iranian government. And Trump's basically come out and he's like,
wait. But didn't Trump say no more gays in the military? What if I like suck a dick real quick? Do I still have to go?
Well,
I really don't want to go. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Man, you're gonna have to suck a lot of dicks to get out of it, right? Like they're gonna be reforming the things, right? You'll have to actually suck a dick in front of the draft officer, or maybe the draft officer's dick to get out of it.
Who's in charge of this operation again? Is it the same people that had you do 20 gay porn films? Is it the same company or a different? Is it a different company?
It's not exactly the same company, but it is run by the same interest group. Yeah. Actually, without even joking, it's basically the same people who are behind the Ukraine war.
God, I don't know what we're joking anymore.
So,
I want everything to be a joke, please.
So you can trust them, mate, right? Because no one makes war like these people, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? Drenth again for 5 loonies.
Fucking Drenth, dude. This guy is a waste of a fat fucking dick. I'll say it. Absolute waste.
You all heard it here. Fist is pro male women. All hail Fist femboy harem.
Whoa! What the fuck?
I don't know, but thank you very much, Drenth. And my God, Waffle!
What?
Look at Waffle. He's going mad, bro.
There he is. There he is. Absolute psycho. Absolute madman.
Now you know what?
He really just floods the gates. Like, he is gonna end up giving me an immigration problem in this community. Okay. I don't have time to vet anyone. He just opens the borders like that. It's incredible.
He's really flooding the zone. He's flooding the zone.
Yeah, exactly. He's putting my monarchy to the test.
I actually heard from someone that there's like an option you can enable in the chat or something that will allow you to enter the lotteries to get memberships, but I never get that message. I wonder why that is. Am I being excluded?
Does he choose? Because there's people that like would love to be candidates for that, as opposed to random people. I have no idea how it works.
Do you have to be monetized? I wonder. Like, do you have to actually have like do you have to like have like a card like linked to that account or something like that in order for it to like
He just told Mod Ardent Party to open the gates from the inside. He's infiltrated.
Don't do it. The time is not right. We need to delay for at least a couple of months before our plan will be complete. Don't listen to him, Ardent.
But also, fellas, James Lindsay saying like who hates Israel. Anytime somebody accuses somebody else of hating, okay, at this point, I'm just going to go nuclear on them, because this is boring at this point. You hate us, and what happens when you hate them? Laws restricting your speech. So very much be very aware of when people are telling you that you hate other people.
Yeah, they're fucking going after the First Amendment now, right? Like all of this like stuff that's happening in Europe, which has nothing to do with the moose, by the way, right? At all, despite the fact they're literally using exactly the same talking points. They want to like not abolish the First Amendment, but just look, you got to understand, right? To save free speech, you have to limit free speech, right? You understand, Arnie?
Yeah, I mean, they're not trying to cancel Nick Fuentes. We've heard this so many times, right? Well, some of them are, but a lot of them aren't. Okay, they don't want to, like James Lindsay. He doesn't want to cancel anybody. Okay, he just wants you to have the conversation with the people that he wants you to have a conversation with in the way that he wants you to have that conversation. And if you don't have the conversation that way, he's going to explain to you what woke is over and over again until you capitulate.
Speaking of which.
2026, fellas, and he's still trying to define what woke is. I've never seen anything like it.
Oh, look at this pause face. Oh my
yeah,
God,
he looks
right.
real fucking happy, doesn't he?
Actually, you know what this totally is, right? It's a fucking smugly, right?
Oh yeah.
So you want your people to succeed, but don't care about others succeeding? Isn't that a bit hypocritical?
Dude, look at his face. The life is drained from his eyes. He looks like in the Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal, after the Skeksis would like suck the essence out of the fucking little people's eyes.
Okay, so in the never-ending quest to get Lindsay to explain what the woke right actually is, or we are on episode 511 million, right, of this very, very vague but he's got the sunk cost fallacy now, right? He's attached to the woke right brand, right? Even Netanyahu said it, okay, right? And look, when Netanyahu says your buzzword, right? I mean, you're on your way to success and pineapple on your pizza, right? So fucking right, like this is like, oh God, just check it out, bros.
So what does it mean to be woke? Well, part of what it means is a certain relationship to knowledge. And that certain relationship to knowledge that's woke is a preference for marginalized knowledges. So when we say knowledges here, we don't mean things that we know are true or things that we just believe. We mean prejudices, opinions, ideological assertions, things that they want to be true, but we don't know if they're actually true or not. When we say marginalized, that means there's a system of power that wants to stay in power that's pushing everything else to the outside so that it can keep its power. So marginalization is a process of excluding that which might challenge the power structure. When we say a preference here, a preference for marginalized knowledges, that's an epistemic preference. It's an epistemological preference. That means not that they like it better, but they think it's more true because it's not, it's marginalized. Okay, so this is the woke way of knowing, the woke relationship of knowledge. This is part of what it means to be woke. So conspiracy theories are an example. These are things that they don't want you to know.
Pause
There's
it.
a conspiracy.
It's always floating so much where he's like, okay, so like let me give you an example. Conspiracy theories. It's like kind of vague, Jimbo. Kind of vague. Can we?
I mean, I like the other thing is, right? Like, what if it's true? Right? Like, we all just lived through COVID, okay? Right? The point at which, exactly as he described, a powerful group literally like censored people in order to stop like certain facts coming to light, and then called everyone who tried to surface those facts conspiracy theorists, right? So I guess everyone who like didn't take the vaccine was woke now. Like, I mean,
right. And
how
the woke right, the thing he still can't define, isn't a conspiracy theory, is what you're telling me. The thing that he's still trying to define.
I mean, the funny thing as well, right, is that he always assumes, right, that he is part of the center of the largest group, right? But
Yeah.
if the numbers fall, then technically he would be surfacing marginalized knowledge, right? That's outside the group that's being like repressed, right? And then he would be woke himself.
Oh, but how is he not the definition of the fucking establishment? Isn't he like in essence always defending the establishment narrative? Isn't
Look at that fucking freeze frame, man.
Every pause on this fucking guy, every frame a pussy.
See that the earth is flat or whatever. They don't want you to know that. That's marginalized knowledge being preferenced. It's more likely to be true because so-called they don't want you to know it. Now, we see this in critical race theory with counter stories, with so-called honest history, which wasn't honest.
Yes, but none of that was true, James, right? You seem to completely deny any validity between like something that is true and something that is a lie.
This is how people hop off of his plantation as soon as they start going, yeah, but what if it's true? And then there's never an answer.
It's like, yeah, the blacks just made a bunch of like crazy shit up that has like no link to reality whatsoever.
Yeah, that's the same thing as mass migration and whites being discriminated against, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're both complaining, so it's the same. And horseshoe theory, and I'm not kidding, he did say this, the right hand slaps the left side of the face, is what he said. And he said it like it fucking meant anything.
Come on, man. I mean, have you even ever seen an immigrant? Right? Like, it's just, you're just preferring, right, these marginalized systems of knowledge, right, that claim without any evidence that like millions of migrants have come to your country, right? I mean,
it's the epitome of the Andrew Wilson argument against atheists, where he goes, it's my preferences. It's constantly, every single one of James Lindsay's arguments is where Andrew Wilson starts in every debate with every atheist ever, and it always goes well for Andrew Wilson.
Project, another revisionism. We see it with the rewrites of the history of World War II.
And of course, that's the important thing. You notice this tactic, by the way, right? They do, I think it's called like a rhetorical sandwich. And if it isn't, I'm inventing that name, a buttery rhetorical sandwich. Okay, right? So you have the thing that's actually important to you, but you don't want to let people know that that is your overriding, abiding obsession, right? So you say, an example, like something like the flat earth and World War II revisionism, and like like you sandwich it in between.
Yeah, you have, like, for example, you have A, B, and C. A is something that's like horrible, B is something innocuous, C is something horrible. So then the listener thinks that all three of them are horrible, and then you have plausible deniability, which he gets off on having that.
No, this is more, right? Like you're trying to say that you're making like a universalist statement, right? But you're not, right? You're only really concerned about B, right? You don't really give a fuck about like whether people believe the flat earth or whether like, you know, what you care about is that people are questioning World War II, right? That's the really important thing.
What if we call it a rhetorical schmear? A rhetorical schmear.
A rhetorical schmear. That's a great idea. Thank you very much, Master Shake. He's a mensch.
So that they can cast Winston Churchill as the bad guy or Hitler as the good guy or misunderstood or whatever else. We see it in queer theory with this idea of queer knowledges where deviant sexual practice leads you to know things other people don't know. Deviant methodologies.
Well, I mean, look, in a sense, okay, this is kind of true. Queer sexual practices could lead you to know like how many things you could fit up your ass.
Well, he wants to equivocate the deviant behavior physically of the left with the deviant ideology on the right is how he connects those two things.
Of course. So it's like how many weird things can you fit in your brain hole, basically, instead.
Lead you to hidden truths that they don't want you to know. We see it.
They don't want you to know how many weird things you can fit up your butthole. They really don't.
Oh yeah, dude. Hey, the right wing doesn't want you to know any of the things that they're talking about, right? It's not like they fucking scream from the fucking rooftops to the point where they have to be physically silenced. They don't want you to know it all. They're very secretive, right?
Very secretive, exactly.
With a preference for indigenous knowledges and indigenous ways of knowing because they're outside of the Western system. And what makes it woke is believing that because it's not part of the established knowing system or knowledge system, that it's more likely to be true because it's based off of a conspiracy theory that there's a system of power that wants to stay in power that's keeping us from knowing the real truth, the hidden truth.
But this is literally how power functions, right? Like, I mean, is he basically implying that every single censorship regime that ever existed, right, in the entire history of man before this one was not exactly that?
Oh, this is what a liberal ideologue sounds like. Nothing maps onto reality. There's nothing backing it.
For marginalizing it. So anywhere you see a preference for marginalized knowledges, you're dealing with a woke way of knowing. Waking up to believing a system like this exists is what it means to be woke.
Look at that face.
So stay on the plantation, boys, right? Only watch Fox News. Don't start getting information from like Twitter. These are all marginalized knowledges. And absolutely do not, right? And I cannot stress this enough. Do not start thinking that a good way to figure out what it is the government does not want you talking about is the things that they repress, right? Because it's far too simple. It's way more complicated.
Well, he never has an example of like, okay, well then how are people supposed to criticize and raise issues, grievances that they have? He never gives like an example of when it's acceptable. Just give it a breast, James. Okay. Somebody in the chat said his boobs are getting bigger. Ben Shapiro's kippa is getting bigger and his boobs are getting bigger. I don't know if one's influencing the other, but they're both becoming very sizable.
He is abreast of the issues. I will say that much. Most definitely. Wait, hang on. I think we got a couple more super chats.
Oh, sure.
Appalachian Goy for $2. Found $20 today. Here's my tithe. Thank you very much, Appalachian Goy.
Thank you.
And big time. He's gifted 5 membership. I think he deserves
those cheeks.
Thank you very much, mate.
As always, you do get the New Year's Eve after party from the last show that we had,
right?
Which we did a 3-hour stream, and then afterwards a 5-hour after party, which, as always, gets really weird and really silly. So good for you guys having that. You might enjoy it.
Arrakeen Green Moon for 50 Norwegian kroner, I think. Given they are ramping up the censorship, I get a feel that the old alliance is rebuilding. How will this play out? The Moose geniuses. I don't know how it will play out. I am not a soothsayer or any other kind of degenerate occultist.
Yeah, right, dude. If you have a dinner party and you need everyone to leave, ask him that question because he will talk to you for 7 straight hours. Okay. There's been times where I'm trying to just like pre-plan the stream and go, okay, let me just go over some slop. And he's like, well, before you say that, and I'm not kidding, 45 minutes of him connecting these dots and like wondering if it's like it really is like an R.L. Stine choose your ending. Which page do you go to? It's a different dialogue tree. It's incredible. He will be building upon that theory toward the end of the stream, though.
Indeed, I will. And the Revolutionary for $2. Honestly, this is my favorite channel. Oh, thank you very much, mate. I think you're new. Thank you for super chatting. Good to see you. So we got a couple of other
very much appreciated.
We got a couple of other things to round out the first hour. The first hour is when people are rolling in. You know what I mean, right? So we keep it loose. This is young Bob from the UK. He got famous during all the refugee protests, migrant hotel protests. You gave me this video, didn't you?
Well, yes, I did.
Let's see.
I'm young Bob. I work for Turning Point UK.
Oh, yeah. Work for Turning Point
Oh yeah, so
UK.
just pause it really quick. This is what I'm trying to drive through. Is you have to deny racism, deny far right. You have to deny these terms, and I've been saying that. And I think this is from like a month ago. I've been saying this, and this is how you do it in the UK. This is how you deny these terms. These terms must be denied wholesale. They are not universal terms. They don't have a universal meaning like other words do. They are specifically meant to hold back white people and fostering a right wing in the Western world. So they have to be denied wholesale.
Yep. Deny the magic words. Deny the magic words. Just, if you get stuck, just ask them what they mean, right? And like get them to, stop doing the explaining for them. Just be like, well, what do you fucking mean? Because all these words now have meanings that are like functionally meaningless. They encompass fucking everything at this point.
And they're being enshrined into law when they have no meaning.
Oh, well, that's a feature, not a bug, because it allows you to basically like lock up anyone you want, pretty much,
I'm in a public place. What links to the far right do I have?
I don't know. Turning Point's linked pretty far right.
What does that mean?
Turning Point is far right.
Yep.
Yes. Of course, referencing, Charlie Kirk's famous speech where he's like, send them all back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. His famous speech where he talks about like having gay people in Turning Point, very far right.
Yeah, that's right. Very far right. Very far right.
If I say to you, let's say I give you the accusation that you're a rapist, I have to prove that through evidence, right? If I say that you're a murderer, I have to give evidence for that. However, on the left, it seems like you can just give this colloquialism that someone is far right, ruin their career, ruin their opportunities to prosper. Well, if you look at most works, for example, mine, you have social media contracts that state that if you put the company into dispute due to your affiliations, you can get sacked. So when the left make it socially acceptable to label people that have views in opposition to theirs as far rights, unfortunately, they lose their jobs, they lose their credibility, they lose their family, they, in some opportunities, lose their banks. If you look at the work of Nigel Farage when he was debanked. So I want you to substantiate evidence. You said that the far right, which supposedly we are, has strong links to homophobia, even though this is a feminist march talking about mass migration. And how does my organization, Turning Point UK, have associations with the far right? Those are two claims that you made that if you said this is your town, you should be able to declare with evidence.
Woo! I've got a fan club. I should stand on the step.
I'm a fan of anyone who can give unsubstantiated evidence towards their claim. I'm a fan of anyone who's ignorant. I'm a fan of anyone who's got a spoon up their ass who believes that they can dictate to me my opinions of what they are. If actually look at history, people who commonly did that, demoralized people, were actually on the wrong side of history. They were the fascists in Germany. They were the Soviet communists in Russia. And in fact, the left invoked tactics that had been historically within the roots of people persecuting minorities. I mean, look at the backward society we live in now. We live in a society.
See, that's still a weak framing, right? You're still like, but minorities. Oh, don't you know, like the left are the real racists? No, just step over it, man. Just be like, fuck off. Like,
no,
honestly,
but it's the UK, dude. It's like, it's like you guys are still in like 2020,
Yeah. I'm just saying, right? Like it's a losing position. You're still engaging like with the frame, but yeah,
he's not fully rejecting it. Yeah.
Where the majority of people are persecuted by the minority of people who have a spoon fed up their ass, who believe that people that just believe. Yeah, of course, you might have to, because you came up to me with the entitlement that this is your town, and I want to know why the far right are here. Now, if it's socialism, it's everyone. Exactly.
Be some heartless prick.
God damn it! I mean, it just.
Whoa!
Why did it skip to that?
What the hell?
Anyway,
push something. All right.
No, it just finished and then just decided to like start.
Oh yeah.
Something else. So this is another good indication of how things are going in the UK. As we covered the last show, it seems so long ago, and like way back in history, like 2 days ago.
That was last year.
Yeah. It was last year. Exactly.
It was sometime last year.
We covered the Andrew Gold, Steve Laws interview, and the repercussions, the ripples are rippling out, right? And the coloured population of the UK, who of course are much more virtuous than the white population, because they never did anything wrong and they weren't responsible for slavery. And really, they've just come over, to Britain in order to, just make everything better. And that's why everything is like so much better since they arrived. Check this out.
So I've just endured an Andrew Gold podcast. I watch a few of them actually because I like to see where they're coming from. But the reason I watch this specifically is I want to talk about Steve Laws. Now, Steve Laws is one of the loudest voices in the UK pushing for this so-called policy of remigration. I've had loads of people jump in my life and tell me, I'm going to get sent back to my country and I'm next, blah, 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 blah. But it needs to be taken seriously because remigration is just a euphemism for mass forced deportation.
Yeah, that's right. he's a very, very perceptive guy. This dude, like he has correctly
wrong about them.
He has correctly.
He's at the edge of the curve.
Yeah. No, this is one of our brightest British thinkers right here.
It's not just the so-called undocumented migrants, but British citizens of foreign descent targeted on the basis of nothing but ethnicity. Steve Laws is an ethno-nationalist, and it's a fantasy dressed up as a policy.
If it's a fantasy, then why are you so worried about it? Right? Like I've seen all of these people like molding and bitching and seething, like, oh, it's a fantasy. Well, then if it's a fantasy, why do you care? Why are you even worried about it? It's not like,
well, yeah,
Steve
well,
Laws.
you don't know what you don't know what it's like to have your race targeted like this, okay, in public, and have everyone listen to it and have no problem with it and have the government back it, okay? You don't know what it's like to be a minority in a country.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. No, they do know what it's like to be like numerically a minority, but because they've got the backing of the government, it doesn't feel like it, right? The way it's always sold is that the majority has the backing of the government. But that's not fucking true. That's not fucking true at all.
But there are a lot of people who are getting behind it. Now, he's openly pushed accelerationist ideas, the belief that society needs to collapse so a new ethnically defined state can be built.
Based?
He was a senior organizer in the far-right Homeland Party, and he left because he thought their stance on remigration wasn't extreme enough.
Also based.
As a footnote, the right are really going for a bit of a civil war, which is touched on in the podcast, and I'll touch on it a lot more.
Actually, the right are afraid that civil war will be the inevitable outcome of the incredible friction from mixing of ethnic groups and the sort of inevitable unequal treatment that comes. It's not really that the right are like, let's have a civil war. And the British used to understand that. That's why the partition between India and Pakistan happened. Like, anyone remember, right? Like why they partitioned India and Pakistan? Because like even though those two groups were basically the same ethnicity, because they were like different religions, they couldn't get along. What do I know?
But this guy, he tours conferences in the UK and Europe, claiming remigration is inevitable, and he boasts about discussing these plans with members of the House of Lords.
Based?
Yes, this is serious. This is real, mate. This is real.
I thought you said it was a fantasy. I mean, like, isn't it just is it real? Is this just real life? It's
really a fantasy.
it's a real fantasy, right?
Groups like Hope Not Hate have documented exactly what this is. It's cruel, sadistic, and completely incompatible.
Oh yes, the communists have weighed in on this. Well, mate, there's one thing I've learned from living in Britain. It's that if you can't trust the communists to take a neutral view on things, who can you trust, right?
With a democratic...
It's so bastardized where they're crying about the far right when you have this is the birth of the fucking Fabian Society. All right? Like,
I know, right?
There's no far left. There's only a far right. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
Multi-ethnic Britain. Doesn't matter, though. This is what Steve Laws is advocating for.
We never voted for it, right? Like it was like, I just love how like, democracy. No one fucking voted for mass migration, right? And the reason no one voted for it is because they knew if they put it to a vote, it would lose, because every single fucking time it has come up as an issue, it gets voted against.
Here's the issue. This is the issue with monarchy. You see, if you guys were a liberal democracy, then you would have voted on it, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not a policy. It's about dehumanization. And it needs...
Oh, it's about dehumanization, right? Which, of course, is not happening to the white population at all, right? Like, if anything, we are lionized, given special treatment, right? Like all these, like, the whites can say things that the blacks can't, right? Like, it's awesome. Fucking hell, man.
He's calling out loudly by anybody, I don't care of your own ethnic background, but any decent human being needs to say fuck Steve Laws and fuck the horse he rode in, and he can remigrate his bomber clock.
It's a bomber class.
Ah, yeah. Wow. Spoken like a true Englishman.
Speaking of Hope Not Hate, we have here Nick Lawls, the head of Hope Not Hate. For you Ameribros who are not aware of what Hope Not Hate is, they're basically like a bunch of like communists that were like, started around in the 60s and sort of grew up into becoming a sort of NGO attached to the UK's intelligence and police structure. And their job basically is to go around messing up anyone who might be like any nationalist organizations, any of this kind of other stuff. They were instrumental in dismantling the BNP. They're just slimy pricks, basically.
The internet and the online space has transformed the fortunes of the far right. Not only when I first started in the late 80s, unless you literally knew someone who was in a fascist group, you could never join. There was no website, there was no office. You couldn't buy something in the shop. You had to know someone. It was a very violent world then. But I think, and so the internet and in a way the far right have been much better at utilizing new media platforms.
Or your inability to give any credence to the actual grievances that these people were putting forward led to the situation that you are now witnessing, right? Like you see this over and over, right? The problem is not the problem. The problem is that people are talking about the problem, right? Like there wouldn't be, it's like, what's causing all this racism? Maybe it's the mass migration. Oh, no. It's the internet, right?
Well, you see, the far right, they're very dubious. On one hand, they're just in their basement, in their mother's basement, with no job, and they're incels. And on the other hand, they're very politically savvy operators that are great at gaining power. Yeah,
they're very dangerous, bunch of like losers in their basements. That it's amazing how that works, right?
Well, at the same time.
At the same time,
too, because they've been taken off certain platforms, they've created their own. Partly, you've got super rich people in the US literally providing them with platforms. But there is this ecosystem now where 20 years ago, 30 years ago, there was literally a social and economic consequence for being a far right activist. You lost your job, you got shunned by your family and your friends.
30 years ago, right? Like not in any more recent times. The fuck?
It's a whole generation.
Sorry,
it's a whole generation ago.
A whole generation ago. Yeah, there's different times back then.
Good living. And by a good living, I mean, Tommy Robinson, wherever his money goes.
How the fuck is Tommy Robinson far right? Holy shit, dude. Oh my God.
Dude, Destiny called him a white nationalist, and I couldn't even include it in my video. I'm like, this isn't even worth addressing. This isn't even worth putting in there. They are so off base. They are so out of touch with reality. It's at this point, I would rather start listening to intellectual right-wing speakers and actually not melting my brain like listening to some of these people do. That's part of the motivation.
His bank account or to other accounts will earn millions every year. I mean, that is the scale. But we cannot ignore the street as well, because I think what we've seen over the summer with the rising rhetoric around hotels, the protests, the flags, which is a kind of driven by Tommy Robinson's gang, the consequence of that has been rising racism in society.
Yes, the consequence of that has been rising. It seems to me like you're getting the cause and the effect like the other way around there, Nick. But I mean, like, what would I know, right? I'm just some like, white incel in his basement, right? Like, so, like really, how could I possibly know anything? Fuck.
I mean, what has Tommy Robinson really done? He hasn't like called out the abusive Muzzy gangs or anything like that. And like, sacrifice his own safety, make it so he can't be near his wife and kids because of how much his safety is threatened. So I understand why he went with Israel, though. I mean, who else? They love people that are downtrodden and have nothing else, and then they're there to go, hey, Tommy, you want
no.
It's not going to cost you anything.
He's been down with the Hebrews like literally from the get-go, right? Like his original party was the English Defense League, and it was originally registered as the English and Israeli Defense League, and then they changed it back. So he's been that way like for ages. But as Nick points out, the problem is not the grape gangs, right? The problem is people talking about the grape gangs and undermining social cohesion. I hate this like so much, right? Like, you just like, how many fucking people do you have to like literally sacrifice on the altar of social cohesion? And of course, the answer is, well, what race are these people, right? If they're whites,
Also,
well, infinite.
fellas, feel free to like the stream to let people know that you like the stream. We got some good numbers right now, and we hope to continue it. So thank you very much.
We got one super chat in the queue. Suck Duck again for $5 US Federal Reserve dollars.
Thank you, mate.
How this ends, the AI data centers go bankrupt and get sold to the NSA because the architecture is set up as giant data scrapers and not AI. Bingus. Oh, fuck, mate. That's disturbing. Yeah, that could actually be true. So before we slide into the Fuentes Webbon debate, right?
Yeah.
We have a
That's
message.
more of a conversation.
We have a message from the boomers, Artie, right? They don't like that Fuentes and his bad language, terrible thing. This is an amazing clip. Who the fuck exactly is this guy? He's standing in like the White House, a correspondent at the White House. So he's probably from some like boomer media outfit, right? But this is
You think?
Yeah, this is fucking hilarious, bros. Enjoy.
Reporting for the Intermountain Christian News, I'm Dr. Matthew Anthony Harper, here at the James Brady Press Room of the White House. The top story today is the
Top stories today. The Hindenburg exploded.
There are still some people on my lawn, no matter what I say to them.
Why are there so many Mexicans on my lawn? I brought them over to do lawn care, and now they won't leave.
the unresolved issue about Nick Fuentes. If you don't know who he is, he was the one that Tucker Carlson interviewed. He's a white nationalist, and there's a lot of controversy surrounding him. Nick Fuentes has stirred up a lot regarding his views, and Tucker Carlson hasn't distanced himself from him, or he didn't challenge him in his interview with Nick Fuentes. And Megyn Kelly has not confronted Tucker Carlson about the problems with Nick Fuentes, and especially that it hasn't been addressed that I have seen in media reports is about the matter of hypocrisy. Hypocrisy on the part of Nick Fuentes that claims to be a Christian. He is on his Instagram page where he says...
He's on his Instagram page? Didn't Nick basically say he doesn't fucking use Instagram? I bet it's just other people. It's other people posting his clip. He's on his Instagram page.
We're not interested in your arguments of hypocrisy. Okay.
the phrase Christ is king, and then he uses the F word language.
The F word language. You don't want to be using the F word language. Right. Way these fucking people talk. Holy shit.
In videos. So hypocrisy about representing Christianity, because in the book of Ephesians, the Apostle Paul is talking about not letting vulgar language come out of your mouth, but to have wholesome language. And
is saying you're going to like invade a country and like murder all the people there, is that vulgar language, or should we really be concerned about people saying the F word?
So this version of Christianity feels woke to me in the way where like there was a school shooter and she shut up a classroom, and when someone on the left goes, he shut up a classroom, and it's like, okay, well, anyway, so like no matter what horrific, horrible thing is happening, if you swear, that all of a sudden like takes any CPU or brain space in the that just loses so many people. I feel like
I don't want to hear any of this F word language while we're planning how to genocide all those people.
Dude, earlier this year, I was like, yeah, I don't really get along with religious people because I thought they were like mostly like this guy. I swear to God.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know, right? It's just insane, right? Like the way they like just distract from like the worst possible things. Like, oh yeah, like totally like distort and mangle like the Bible, right? But just, don't swear. Oh my God.
You're not ready for what's happening if the swear words make your tummy hurt, dude, you know?
Fuentes filled with hate towards the Jewish people.
Here it is.
Towards Israel. They're not aware, and especially Nick Fuentes has a low view of Scripture. In that means low view.
Why does he sound like off screen there's men in masks with a gun to his face? He's like stumbling over what he's saying right now, isn't he?
It's one of the Israelis doing that thing where they're like staring at his
Read
face
it!
and, like analyzing his micro expressions.
Right?
We don't suffer hate here. Now let's go overseas and kill those people. Not because we hate them, but because we wish them to die in fire. Fuck off.
The scripture would be not respecting the Holy Bible, about the scriptures, about especially about God's warning about dividing the land of Israel, the Holy Bible in support of Israel. Of course, in Zechariah chapter 14, you can read that. I think it's very important to read. This is about the Jewish Messiah. Yeshua in Hebrew is his name, but Jesus, he returns to the Mount of Olives,
Christian Zionist detected.
which is in Jerusalem, to set up his kingdom, but he comes back in power in a major way. It's so important to read Zechariah chapter 14.
Going back to the Old Testament again. Yeah, interesting. They always love to quote the Old Testament exclusively for some reason. I can't think what that is.
Now, this continues to be an unresolved issue, needs to be addressed. Megyn Kelly, Nora, Tucker Carlson, and some others have addressed hypocrisy of the so-called Christianity that is being portrayed by Nick Fuentes, and even Tucker Carlson claims to be Christian. But these are very challenging issues for our evangelical Christian audience that hold people accountable on the matters of their hypocrisy. So what is really needed for this is, I've heard this from many of our audience, is to challenge the people on these issues and to hold a biblical perspective, to understand what the Holy Bible has to say about the land of Israel, the importance of Israel, especially in
I mean, I think about this a lot, right? Why didn't they call the state of Israel Zion? Right? I mean, that's what Zionism means, right? Like that was the name of the homeland, Zion.
True.
And then I looked into it, and it turns out it was going to be called Zion. But then at the 11th hour, it was overruled, and the name of the state was changed to Israel. I wonder why they would have done that. Certainly not so that they could like engage in this kind of like sophistry or anything like that and be like, oh yes, our state that we just like set up on like the ruins of Palestine is in fact the biblical Israel or anything like that.
I may be inclined to believe you if only you had any sort of historical precedent for that behavior, but you don't. So I'm sorry. I'm a skeptical atheist. What can I say?
It's true. It's true. Well, you know, that's me, BGFO'd, mate.
This is 12:3. It talks about blessings for those that bless Israel and curses for those that curse.
Oh, God, again with that one fucking line out of Genesis. Holy shit. It's like they managed to like program like every single evangelical Christian with it. And again, it's like a threat. Hey, I tell you what, if you do anything against us, God's gonna curse you. But if you work with us, you'll get pineapple pizza and all the trips to Tel Aviv you could possibly want. Like, it's so fucking transactional, right? Like, isn't the entire idea to like do it because it's like right or truthful or godly? Oh no, if you don't do it, you'll be cursed.
James Lindsay was, yeah, it's fine. James Lindsay was literally like, yeah, so they put me here in the hotel and I had this beautiful view. And I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm just sitting here reading what you guys are saying online. It's like, yeah, don't you think that's the point, James? Right.
Look,
how can these guys be bad? They gave me candy.
Look, man, I've been to the crossing, right? I saw trucks like going through the crossing, right? Therefore, Potemkin's law, right?
Curse. Now, this is referring to Abraham and his seed, which represent Israel. And there's a lot of condemnation about Israel happening right now, a lot of pressure on Israel. So this needs to be addressed. I'm addressing it here from the White House about the hypocrisy of Nick Fuentes and those that support him, that do not challenge him. And I am challenging him to a debate on these matters, as well as other people that hold these views.
Nick, if you're listening, please debate this guy. Oh my God, it would be so funny.
It's funny. It's funny when you wonder what the moves are going to do. And then after everything that's happened, everything we've covered in like the last month and a half, they go, let's get an old guy on there to challenge him to a debate. That's what we should do. That'll show him. That'll get him shaking in his boots.
We'll tape him speaking in front of the White House seal. That will give him added legitimacy because everybody knows that's what the kids care about. Look, he's in the White House. Dude, no one gives a fuck, man. Oh, God. Right, we got some more super chats.
Yes, sir.
Before we go into the Fuentes Webbon thingy. Deadpool Kid,
DPK.
$20. Look at him go. Thank you very much. Hey, everyone. I know we usually have a lot of flack to deal with, but I want everyone to be in good spirits and resist the algorithm black pill, the woke and boomer mind virus. We're a community now. Stay strong, brothers. Thank you very much. That's a beautiful message.
That has the official fucking rhetorically defective stamp of approval. That sentiment right there is the sentiment that has helped me make content and to not go full black pill and like get fucking pissed off and super depressed and think like nothing means anything. Absolutely not. We mock them. We laugh in their faces. That was a really good comment, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, I also support this comment. Thank you very much, DPK. He's a real nigga right there. Thank you, real fella.
Is he white or is he really a black guy? What was that?
He's a real fella. Right?
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. Sorry.
The revolution.
He's a real nigga.
Why does the English state hate the English? Because the English state is not really composed of the English anymore, so they are an obstacle to their plans. But that's the simple answer. There's a more complicated answer.
Well, it all started in 1066 AD.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Aramaic discourse for $2 literally sounds like a hostage video. Right? It's the boomer hostage hour. I'd make a fucking like great show. Welcome to the boomer hostage hour. Who's our hostage for today, Shlomo? Oh my god. Deadpool Kid again for $2.
Thank you, mate.
Grandpa, get back in bed. You need your meds now. Yeah, clearly.
Dude, who wheeled him out there? Who thought that was a good idea? Or is it the kind of thing where he has enough seniority where he's like, get me in front of that damn camera right now? No, you don't have to. Get it out of here. Fire. Do it. And some interns there. And it's like, all right, go ahead.
Brother, get me to Washington, D.C. I have a message for the people.
I ought to send Nick Fuentes a telegram and not the singing kind.
He's using the F word language. Oh my god. Suck Duck for $2. Ask if these moves came over from Eastern Europe.
There we go.
There you go. Thank you very much. And Drenth. Oh my god. He's
Drenth, dude. Fucking Drenth, dude.
For 1488 Canadian loonies, thank you. He asked to debate anyone, Artie. It's time to get your debate league started.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they would just do a quick once-over on the internet and invite me immediately.
Oh, my fucking God.
I'm prime for that.
Mate.
So,
that'd be hilarious. Right. So that's, we ready?
This is not a debate, okay? This is essentially a strategy session, okay? They are looking to bridge the gap between... Actually, this is going to be interesting because Joel Webbon is a Protestant. I'm an atheist. Nick Fuentes is a Catholic, and Fist over here is Orthodox. So this is actually interesting. I want to have, a little substantive conversation. The four of us, the four identities that I just mentioned religiously, okay? We are going to set aside as many differences as humanly possible to all get on the same page as much as humanly possible to fight the Leviathan that has been plaguing us for centuries. Now, Joel Webbon is really hyping up Nick Fuentes. He thinks he's either going to be president or a kingmaker. He is seeing some huge things in the future for Mr. Fuentes.
I'll go ahead and publicly say it. I have nothing to lose. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I'm right. I believe Nick Fuentes will one day either be president or at minimum a quintessential kingmaker with such profound influence that whoever is president won't be able to get there without Nick's support.
Which is why he, in fact, recorded 10 hours of conversation. This is hour 1. I strongly recommend, dude, it's $10 for a month. It's like $1. It's like $1 an episode. Really?
I mean, Joel Webbon is fucking right. Okay, right. And I think I called this like way back in the day. This is the fundamental problem, right? Like it's not just that he could attain political power, but he could wind up as a kingmaker, right? So that he essentially gave.
You did say kingmaker.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, here we go.
Nicholas J. J.
Yes.
Fuentes. In the flesh. Nice to meet you.
Yes. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. So this is actually going to be a 10-part series. It's not just a one and done. You were gracious with your time, came out, spent about half a week with us last fall by the time that this is airing. And we want to do a lot of good with this series. And so it's going to be 10 parts and we are reserving nothing. I gave you my word that, nothing's going to be behind the paywall where, keep it in the vault. You'll never get to see it unless you give us your money. We are going to have kind of some of the raw footage available for ad-free and early access. So if anybody is like, they're watching this, it's the first episode and they're like 10, it's 10 parts. I want to get it all, right now. So if you want to binge watch it, you can, and we're going to make that available. You hear about that a little bit later, how to get that. But if you're like, nah, I don't want to have to pay for it, it will all come out, but we're going to do one at a time. So one episode per week for 10 weeks. So this is probably going to go all the way through halfway into March. So I'm excited. So first thing that I thought that we should talk about.
My editing brain is like, give me all of that now. I'm not waiting till March, dude. Give me all the knowledge immediately. Let me see where this is going.
Yep.
Is America First and Christian nationalism. You're a Christian nationalist, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to ask you about America First, but first, let's start with the Christian nationalist piece. Obviously, they both run into each other. When you say you're a Christian nationalist, what do you mean by that?
I believe that America is a Christian nation, which is sort of in the name. Christian nationalist, America is a Christian nation. And I think that Christianity is an essential part of America's identity. Fundamentally, I think that America should have a Christian government, is what I think that ultimately comes down to. Amen. And if you want to get very specific and detailed about it, I believe that only Christians should be legislators, judges, and in the executive.
I couldn't agree more. I think it should be. I don't even think that's really that controversial. It's only controversial because of the people that are in power don't want to lose their power, would be the only way that's controversial, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, the entire legal code of the West is based on Christianity, right? Like,
right, exactly.
And I think this is a really good idea. Like, all the different parts, all the different sects of Christianity have to come together. And this has been done before, right? This has historical precedent, right? Like after the 30 Years' War, and just basically be like, right, these are the principles that we can all broadly agree to as Christians. You can be Orthodox over here and Protestant over here and, whatever, but we have to agree on these fundamental principles. And this, I think, is a discussion that's basically happening now.
Executive branch.
Amen.
I think that if Christianity is right and true, if God has a law, then our government should follow that. I think that's historically our identity. I think that's the truth. I think that's consistent with what our civilization is. So I would start there. I think that we should have a fully Christian government.
What do you think? I agree wholeheartedly. Lex Rex, the law is above the king. I'm actually comfortable with the king. I think just because of America's founding and history, I think we could functionally get there, but I don't think we would ever call someone a king. It's just not in our blood as Americans. There's an aversion to that. But even if there was a monarch, the law of God is still ultimately the ruler. Lex Rex, the law above the king. In terms of the law of God, we have all these statutes throughout the Old Testament, and then many of them restated and some new ones in the New Testament. But the summary of the law would be the Decalogue, the 10 Commandments, Exodus chapter 20. That really summarizes the law. And then Jesus summarizes it even further when he says, the first and greatest commandment is to love the Lord our God with all our heart, soul, mind, strength. And the second is like it, that we should love our neighbor as ourselves. All of the law, he continues, and the prophets they rest on these two commandments. So the way I see it is, Jesus is love God, love neighbor. That being a summary of a summary, being the Decalogue, the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments, there's 10 of them, but really they fall into two tables. You have the first four of the 10 Commandments. Now I know Catholics and Protestants, we count them a little differently, but in the Protestant case, it's the first four of the 10 Commandments are in regards to how to love God. Have no other gods before me. Don't make graven images. Don't take the Lord's name in vain. And remember the Sabbath, keep it holy. The next six is love for neighbor. And it's honor your father and mother. Don't murder. Don't commit adultery. Don't steal. Don't bear false witness. And don't covet.
Right. So the problem is that law about like graven images is open to a lot of interpretation. So Maimonides, for example, basically says that under this under the strict interpretation, all Christians would have to be put to death for like worshiping the cross, and the Orthodox for like worshiping saints and stuff like that, having icons, would be doubly screwed. So I mean, I know Webbon's like, oh, I'm an Old Testament, but you gotta be a bit precise about this.
He does he does expound and provide a lot of clarification probably in the next 10 minutes on some of these. I don't know if that one, but he does go into more detail.
Yeah, right.
Jesus says, love God, love neighbor. The 10 Commandments, this is how to love God with a little bit more specificity, and how to love neighbor. And then everything else, all these Old Testament civil statutes, they ultimately fall underneath one of the 10 Commandments, whether it's a parapet around the border of your roof, right? You have to have like this railing. Well, they don't have HVAC during the summer months. They're sleeping on the roof, and you're loving your neighbor by making sure he doesn't fall off in the middle of the night and break his leg. So even that you can root to the commandment, the 6th commandment, thou shalt not murder. Stated in the positive sense would be, thou shalt protect and esteem the safety and dignity of human life. So we can look at that even in our Western context and say, well, that's silly. That's primitive. You Bible thumpers. Well, we have laws about speed limits and seatbelts and we're just not up on the roof anymore. But find me a 2-story balcony in anybody's home that doesn't have a railing, right? And if it didn't, eventually there'd probably be a legal issue. So it's not that different. We're like that still to this day. So if we're going to have laws, I'd like to see them modeled off of the scripture. So my question, I guess, to you though, is this is where I see a lot of Christians start to say, well, not that. The first table of the law. A lot of guys will say, yeah, we need laws as it pertains to loving neighbor, protecting his safety, these kinds of things. But I don't want blasphemy laws. Like, what about,
So this is good. Rhetorically, this is strong. You want to address, the actual, when you have an idea or an ideology that you want to implement in society, you have to take into consideration the most popular and obvious argument against it. Well, what about these things? Now we get more into the slippery slope argument of how far do we go down. So I always, as an atheist, I always like listening to Joel Webbon because it's a dialogue in a sense, right? Because he includes people that disagree with him, what they would say to him, and then answers that,
Yeah, and I think Webbon's position is actually pretty good. Like, he's clearly thought a lot about this, right?
Exactly.
And how to sort of get to a functional version of Christianity in the law that isn't going to like incite you don't want like Christian sects fighting each other. Like we should be all together fighting the goddamn communists.
We'll have time to you'll have time to argue later on, right? That's how I feel about the right wing in general. Like we're arguing about certain things. Like there's time for that way later on.
Yep.
So the first of the 10 Commandments, we can't have that all 10 Commandments on a courthouse. It's like, well, I have bad news for you. We can't do that because freedom of religion. Which I look at freedom of religion, and I, at some level, as a Christian, I'm like, so freedom for idolatry? Like, I mean, what is that other than like, hey, in America, we protect the freedom for people to worship sand demons and erect 90-foot tall statues.
I love it. To worship sand demons. This is where it really appeals to people like me. Okay,
he's not talking about the Hebrews there, I presume. He's talking about the cheats.
Sand. I mean, sand has really one connotation, right?
Right.
But I really like how the way that he sets this up in terms of idolatry, and we have this conception of freedom as freedom for the sake of freedom, which is the devil, right? It's the thing for the sake of the thing.
Yeah.
Becomes the sake of the thing for the self.
Yeah.
Just because my preferences. Where it's like a lot of these things are predicated on, okay, we believe in God, we believe in the same God, and this is how the country has developed. So it's like freedom under that, so a Christian rule doesn't become like too oppressive. I would understand it's like the context of that freedom. The kosher centrists never want to go into the context of like the time period of when these things were written, by the way, for the country.
Also, you find like a lot of legalism now, right? Like people just worshiping the law for the sake of the law. Like this is a very Muish sort of idea, right? That it is the law itself that is holy, not the outcome that the law is supposed to bring about, right? To reference your earlier point, you're meant to be doing things that give you a fruitful society. You don't just you use the car to drive you somewhere. You don't worship the goddamn car. You know, you use the toilet to go to the toilet. You don't worship the toilet, right? It's just a functional means to a better end. Hang on, we got some super chats.
Yeah.
Raf Nagu blank. Oh, I think he meant to say this one. What about us pagan bros? Well, you wouldn't be able to be a judge or hold high office, basically.
Now you will be able to live amongst many white people at Return to the Land. Okay, you can start there. You can fill out the PMA. We talked to the president of the organization, okay, Eric Arval, and they do accept pagans because it is a European. Okay, he's very much more focused specifically on the white race. So that guy's you're in, and he's a Christian, and maybe somewhere down the daisy chain there, you know, you can have an in. There is room for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm an atheist, you know, like, what about us atheists? I don't ask that. I'm just like, yeah, I already know. Like, yeah, I don't want that shit anyway. Right. I just try to be.
You need people with principles to govern you, because otherwise, like, it just descends like so quickly into like insanity, as we have seen. Like,
and like people that listen to me, like, assume that I do have principles because I enact those principles. But then it's what I'm supposed to, and governmentally, to like Joel Webbon, I'm like, I know I'm an atheist, but like about 100 people really think I have principles. Like, no, it's not how it works. Like, no, I wouldn't be eligible to vote in this like society either, right? But if the incentives were changed, I would change, and that's the point of what they're doing, right? I would have incentive to change and pursue these things.
Deadpool Kid for $5 US. No Jeets, no Durkas, not even Moos. When I was once hesitant because of my racisms, but now I want all Christian-based governance for the future. Yeah, it's really getting that dire. Like, everyone's like looking around and being like, you know, it was fine to like not consider this when everything was going fine, but now everything is going to hell, and you're just like, when was stuff not going to hell? You know? Yeah. Thank you very much, DBK.
Thank you.
Some false god. I think that we've always had blasphemy laws. It's not whether but which. And I'm not saying some kid who says JC should go to jail, but like the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence gyrating in front of a man dressed up like Christ on a cross in a public parade. Believe it or not, jail. Right away, jail. Right. Would you agree with that?
I would. I think I would agree with that. And I think that it's interesting how people in this country have such an aversion to anything that looks or sounds like that. But you look at very modern countries in the Middle East, for example, like the United Arab Emirates. People go to Dubai, and this is a hotspot for the world rich, for entertainers. And a lot of people go there who are pretty secular and pretty liberal.
So this is actually going to be a very interesting point where like these societies already exist. Our elites already go to these very religiously run societies, and they kind of just understand what to do and what not to do. We would like that level of cohesion in the West, where someone comes over here, they're a guest, and they just kind of get it. Right now, when an immigrant comes over here, they're like, there's no rules in this fucking place.
They didn't say truth.
Damn it, again!
It really, I mean, this is the thing, right? The reason why you can't go over to Dubai and criticize Islam is because the Muslims rule that country. And the reason why you can't like go to other countries and criticize the Moos, well, and draw your own fucking conclusions, right? You can criticize all the Christians all you fucking want. That would, you know, suggest that it's not the Christians that are ruling, you know? And of course, I mean, you know, criticizing atheism, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, be like, you're nothing that happens after death. There's nothing even there. I mean, the weird thing is, right? Like, I guess from the atheist point of view, being religious is basically blasphemy against atheism. If you see what I'm getting at, like, you know,
yeah, for for atheists that take things like very seriously. I'm a person that just doesn't really take things very seriously, so that's why I have the positions I have. They're perfectly defensible. I'm not into like, what is it? Secular humanism? where they try to give it like fucking. Do you know what I'm talking about? That's what
do.
Andrew
That
Wilson
stuff's
argue with
cancer.
some of these motherfuckers.
Yeah, yeah. That shit is fucking cancer, and it always comes back to the same like weird argument from like people like John Rawls. Oh, that guy fucking.
I
drives me
think
up the
it's
wall.
good. It's because I think it's good.
Yeah,
That's what it comes down to. My preferences.
But everybody knows that when you go to Dubai or Riyadh, for that matter, or any of these Gulf countries, which are very wealthy, very modern, technologically sophisticated, and cosmopolitan even, everybody knows the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And the rules are you don't disrespect Islam.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole country abides by that. And there's laws governing public displays of affection, modesty, all kinds of things. And nobody seems to have a problem because they know they don't mess around there. They take their
Right.
religion seriously. And when you land at that airport, everybody knows you got to play by those rules. And people seem to be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason in America, even the insinuation that you might have something like that for Christ, for the
Right.
church, people say it's the handmaiden's tale.
Right.
It's Gilead. This is regressive. What is this? The Middle Ages? And maybe I'm more liberal than you.
Mm.
I don't know what the penalties would be specifically, but I think certainly the government needs to enforce some level of morality.
Hold up.
With
Did Fuentes just say that he was more liberal than Joel Webbon? I was reliably informed, right, that Fuentes was the most illiberal person ever to exist. In fact, he was like literally the second mustache man.
Joel,
Have I been lied to, bros?
as you'll find out in this conversation, Joel Webbon is like significantly further right than Nick Fuentes.
Oh no, bros. So wait, which one of them where's the mustache? I'm so confused. Have they split the mustache between them? Right? Are they like, is everyone, I mean, Webbon has like not just a mustache, but a beard as well. Is that worse? I'm so confused,
none of them
bro.
really had beards, did they? They were really just mustache men. Stalin, mustache man, like, yeah, never beard man. Never beard man.
The mustache of evil tonight on the History Channel.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
within reason. And I think what you're talking about when you say the perpetual indulgence, these are deliberately subversive,
Yes.
morally subversive. There's no positive good where that could be defended.
Right.
I don't know that I would outlaw, let's say, heresy, because there should be room for religious debate. It's like there always has been in the church or at different councils and things like that. But something that is deliberately and intentionally meant to blaspheme and offend God and the morals of any decent person, I don't think there's any basis for that. And so, of course, in America at the same time, we have a tradition of freedom of speech, but maybe we need to articulate what the basis of free speech is. Why is free speech good? If free speech is good insofar as we could debate about what form of government is best or what kind of society we should have, I'm willing to be more liberal when it comes to things like that. But filth, which is like pornography, for example,
Right.
what actually, that's not political speech.
No.
And I don't.
Yeah, it's crazy. I need to look into it. Like, how did that become speech?
Oh,
How did porn become
moose.
speech?
the moose.
It had to be.
Yeah, it was the moose. It was literally the moose. They
How else
Okay,
did that
so-
happen in a Christian country?
So the moose, right? Basically, there used to be obscenity laws, and using that like classic tactic of being like, well, what is obscenity like really? Because functionally speaking, right, it basically came down to the opinion of any one judge. There was that really famous quote by that judge who was like, I can't define obscenity, but I know it when I see it. Because that is the actual definition, right? And then the moose were like, oh, well, you know, that basically means it can't be defined, which means really we have to legalize pornography. And of course, you know, the effects of legalizing pornography have been awesome, right? I mean, like, you know, it hasn't had any bad effects on our society or anything, right? Like, we should legalize fentanyl next. What's the worst thing that can go wrong? But yeah, it's a free speech issue. And this is always framed at the time as like, oh, what if I want to write some great but spicy work of literature, and then, you know, 5 years later, it's like, you know, come to our new fucking dildo art project.
Well, it's the physical act of sex and it being recorded and the people are paid is considered speech, is what the weird part is to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I've never
Well,
understood that, even as a liberal.
Yeah, well, the original, I mean, look, they have defined speech to mean so much crazy shit now. Did you know that the reason why you can give infinite money to political campaigns is because money is now defined as speech.
Yeah, my God.
Right? Like, so it's just basically the moves are really good at like thinking up novel legal interpretations for stuff. That's why they're like great lawyers. But it's also why they're like cancer to any stable legal system is a problem. You know?
We all know the Christians you really play fast and loose with language, right? It's not like Christians are like very definite and definitive as to what words mean.
Well, that's because Christianity is fundamentally a declarative religion, whereas Judaism is a discursive religion. This is one of the reasons why it's really fucking hard to pin down what it is they believe. And if you like, if you watch conversations, they'll be like, oh, you know, you can't really define, you know, what Judaism is. You know, it's an identity without an essence. To use one of like Lindsay's favorite, you know, exactly. The Talmud is literally a vast history of autistic legal arguments, and this is the thing. They don't really come down on either side. So depending on how you interpret it, right, you could say, oh, well, actually, I agree with Rabbi Shlomo on this particular issue. And
they're always hedging their bets.
Yeah, always.
If there's anything positively good, I don't even actually consider it speech.
It's not religious speech either.
No.
Although I have seen some Jews say that both abortion and pornography are Jewish religious sacraments.
Which is interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
So I tend to agree. I don't, like I said, I'm probably not as conservative when it comes to religious law as maybe you are, or some Protestants, or even for that matter, some traditional Catholics who say there should be no freedom of religion, which is, I think, what you're saying. But I certainly think that there should be some basic standards like they have in Russia or any other country.
So for my position, I think that it's just, there are degrees. So like Tom Cruise Minority Report, like I don't want, you know, where we're predicting crimes, and even policing. When I think of Old Testament Israel, the actual Jews, you know, I think of, you know, there's not really a police system, right? So there's punitive justice, but they're not going around, you know, with back to the parapet, you know, the border on the roof. There's no, at least no recording in the Old Testament of the parapet committee, you know, that would go house to house, you know, annually to measure and make sure that they hit the metrics. It's like, you need to have a parapet, and if you don't, then you get arrested.
A parapet?
Yeah, a balcony is what he means.
Oh, okay.
I would dispute this claim by Joel here, because the whole point about like the Pharisaic society that Jesus was working against was that there were like a billion laws and you never know if you broke one. So functionally speaking, right, you could just be arrested like for anything, really, which is, you know, I think a characteristic of the world we live in now, right? There is no, the law is now so complex that no one can understand it. You need a lawyer to do it. You need a priestly class to mediate between you and the law. And that's wrong. That's an aberration. The law has to be simple enough so that everyone basically can follow it. And that's why you need like cultures and traditions, so that when someone comes up with some novel interpretation of the law, if you've got like a homogenous culture, everyone will be like, no, that's a scam, bro. Right?
Like, are you saying that people that come here that don't speak English definitely just know all of our laws easily? Like, dude, this was happening in Europe. When you go to a different country, you don't know what the fucking laws are, right?
I mean, that's the crazy fucking thing, man, right? Like, even natives to like America and like Europe can't know what all the laws are. So like, how do you and you constantly see this excuse used for like why they get preferential treatment and why they get lower sentences. Oh, they couldn't possibly know what the law is. They don't speak English. Fucking no one knows what the law is anyway. And they do fucking speak English. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Wait, we got some like super chats.
Yes, sir.
The Revolutionary for $2. Thank you, mate. Pseudo-paganism is a hard L. Okay.
Real shit, fake shit, all the same to me as an atheist. So.
Andrew's Animatics for €2. Hey, man. Taco burrito, fiesta y siesta.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Deadpool Kid for $5. Thanks, mate. Talmud first, Reddit, Discord, libertarians who want to discuss age of consent.
Yeah, they really were the internet before the internet in a lot of these dialectics.
Yeah. Bill Clinton skin suit. Hey, man, for €5. The Moose trick God with a piece of string around Manhattan. What chance do we have against them?
Yeah. Very reasonable people. You can definitely reason with them, right?
I mean, you could just cut the string, right?
You want to know what do you know what the guy gets paid that checks it? $100,000 a year that checks the string.
God. What happens if the string goes down, right? Do all the moos in New York like suddenly get like struck by lightning if they're like out on Shabbat? Like,
Well, it's incredible. One of the largest, most prosperous cities in the United States, mostly in most parts of the world, actually has a game of religious red light, green light when that happens. Okay, they all have to freeze where they are. They can't move until it's fixed.
Seriously?
I don't know. I'm glad you believe me.
And waffle for $10. Let's clap them cheeks.
Cheeks.
Did you two not catch the real moose comment? I
don't
did catch
know.
that. I did
Did
catch
you?
that. He was like the moose of the Old Testament, the real moose.
Right.
Bruh.
They get it. They know how to speak under the radar, right?
Yeah.
This is what we needed to do for a long time.
Well, if he's actually put out a book on the whole Judeo-Christian,
He's ready for war,
mate. He's ready, mate. I got to read it. It's going to be very interesting. Also, if you guys are interested in this topic, particularly any of you who are religious, I would highly recommend Stone Choir. Although I'm not a Protestant and I have some disagreements with them theologically, there is an incredible about 3 episodes they do on the Masoretic text and how it influenced Protestantism. I forget the name of it. Check it out. It's relatively recent. There's one on like European history. It's fascinating. Would highly recommend. Wait, we got a couple more.
Yes, sir.
Super chats. Double Mumble became a member for 2 months. 2 months.
Thank you, mate.
Are you saying lawyers as a career is a mooish creation?
I would love to dig into a little bit of that history, okay? Because it really, I don't think it was done organically. And even when I was doing research, when I was back in my anti-communism phase, like the National Lawyers Guild was a communist front organization. Like this dates back in the country a while.
The only way to really figure that out actually would be to look at a country before and after the expulsion and see how the legal system changed.
Oh, that's fun.
And my suspicion would be that after the expulsion, the legal system suddenly becomes much more religious based and is less on these sort of like weird kind of like circular arguments and comes more down to principles. Volpes Persona, the Septuagint episodes. Thank you very much. We have the best chat. The Septuagint. There are 3 episodes on Stone Choir on the Septuagint. The one on European history is freaking amazing. I would highly recommend it. Thank you very much, Volpez. See, the chat is like basically my second brain. And J Money for $2. I think he's new. Thank you very much. Auto Samson option if that string breaks.
I mean, I don't know what happens. I would imagine that like I don't think they do. What can they do? When their magic string breaks.
Yeah, no, they've got missiles clearly targeting, right?
It's
like
a guy's job to check it constantly.
No, they've got like chickens on standby.
Oh yeah, just unloading sins.
Everyone has to grab an extra chicken on Caparot.
No, if you don't, then you're liable if something happens, right? So if you don't have a border on your roof and nobody ever gets hurt, no harm, no foul. If somebody does get hurt and you had a border, then it's on them. If they do get hurt and you didn't have a border, now you're liable. The same with like a bull, that's accustomed to gore. Well, you could have a violent bull, but if nobody gets gored, you're okay. But if they do, and you've already, like you've known, and that can be proven in a court that you knew that this was a dangerous animal, and it hurt someone, then it's not just that the bull is stoned according to the Old Testament, and so is the owner. Personally, the general equity of that principle, I'll get some flack for this, but I'd apply it to pit bulls. You can have a pit bull, but that dog is genetically bred in such a way that it is extremely dangerous, especially to children. And so you can own a pit bull. In America, I say that you can own a tiger if you want. But if you own a golden retriever and it has a really bad day and does something, tragic, the golden retriever is put to death, and you're probably going to have to go to court and those kinds of things. But I don't think you get locked in jail. But you have a pit bull that has that reputation, and the pit bull kills, 2 little 5-year-old girls. The pit bull gets put down, and so do you. That would be my position.
The pit bull gets put down, and so do you. Can I just go to jail if my dog kills someone?
Harsh but fair.
And he owns it, but he owns it. You know where it comes from. It all makes sense. Linear, perfectly
God.
linear.
Hang on, got a couple more super chats.
Oh, sure.
Party for 2 Canadian loonies. So the moves are just a bunch of D&D rules dicks. Yeah, basically.
Worst dungeon master would be a moo. You're not getting a coherent story.
No. The worst player would be that, right? Because you wouldn't, as a fucking dungeon master, you wouldn't ever be able to just be like, that's it. Where I'm abolishing.
Those are the rules.
Yeah. New GM for $20.
Oh, new G.
Look at him go. Considering launching a deep cover op to convert to Moodyism and become a famous internet rabbi to build credibility and suddenly start openly teaching evangelicals about the Talmud, what brand of butter is best for my kipper?
You'd have to do pig tallow. It's the only thing that can protect you.
No, it's academic. Slagen had the best response. Kerry Goldstein. Yep. I think we have to give that one to academic Slagen on that.
Yeah,
thank you very much, New GM.
Fair and square.
Fair and square.
So I say all that to say, one, there are degrees, but two, also just the system itself, it's less of policing. So there's actually a lot of freedom. Like people are like, well, I don't want the government, to tell me what to do in my bedroom. Well, the government currently tells you how to build your bedroom, right? The studs have to be this many inches between. We police everything, and it's also
very compelling rhetorically, because what he is very good at doing is whenever somebody has an objection, you go, but that's already happening anyway. So he takes away that power of that fear of the slippery slope. It's like, well, that's already happening.
Yeah.
And so, so like you're already living in a world with that. So would you like to live in a world with that with degeneracy, or a world with that without degeneracy?
Yeah. I mean, oh my God, they're going to screech like, this is against democracy. What if people vote for it? No.
Right.
Like, I hate it. Like they just define like democracy is like when we rule shit. Basically, it's just a buzzword. It means nothing. Like, what's that quote from Freeran? Demons, like, they don't use words for like meanings. It's just voices. It's just words they say to make you do what they want. Someone in the chat, if you can give me that quote.
All I've said for communists is something I read one time in a comment. I don't know where it's from, but they said for the communists, words don't have purpose. No, words don't have meaning, only purpose.
Yeah,
the best
exactly.
way that I can explain it. So, like for democracy, that's what the commies say. Liberty, that's what the kosher centrists say. And so we are stuck in between liberty and democracy constantly. Both moves influenced.
Well, this is the thing, man, right? Like, everyone goes on about freedom, but it's not really freedom that people want. What people want is liberty, right? And liberty is when the weight of the state rests lightly upon you, right? Because like 95% of the stuff you want to do is legal. And 95% of all the people around you also want to do stuff that is legal, right? Like freedom implies that you would want to do like literally anything, but that's not true, right? Like honest people, like normal people in a community, right? They just want to like go about their lives, right? Like maybe they're like a bit eccentric, right? But they don't want freedom to like, I don't know, like, launch a nuclear weapon at like their neighbor's house or like invent some like highly newly contagious form of degeneracy, right? It's liberty, right? It's like you wear a you wear a leash.
Freedom without.
Sorry, go on.
Freedom without discipline. Yeah, freedom without discipline is slavery.
Yep.
Because you're free to do whatever you want, but you don't have the discipline to be in control of yourself, right? So like that's the whole point of freedom in this context. That's how I interpret it anyway.
Yeah, what people want is liberty, right? Where the like I said, the weight of the state rests as lightly on your shoulders as possible, because all the stuff that you would want to do is already legal. And the 2%, 1% of people who are completely crazy, that's what you have the laws for, right? But the vast majority of like normal people, it's just within the bounds of the law. And it's unsaid. You don't, under this kind of system, you don't have to make a law saying it's illegal to like, I don't know, launch your dog into the sun, because no one in their right mind would do that.
In the Ardian Fist community of fellas, okay, do we really even have to moderate like at all, or is it just kind of understood how to hang out and talk? It's like it's hard to explain how you don't have to explain something, right?
Yeah, Yeah, well, because it's a shared culture, and that shared culture, in my opinion, is very much based on ethnicity, right? Like it grows out of this sort of shared ideal. And if you've got that, you can have a really light touch government. It's when you start bringing in, like, imagine like we brought in, like, I don't know, 100 bread tubers, right? And we're like, now bread tubers, right? Like, make sure you obey the rules. And they're like, what fucking rules, right? You didn't define the rules. And you just like get into this insane rules lawyering argument as they try and like subvert and do like everything possible to mess you up.
Well, the moves allow communism because communism thrives on freedom for the sake of freedom. Judith Butler with the whole gender shit that, reform, she was raised reformed moo. And the whole concept of queer is just to do the opposite of normal, but just because you have the freedom to do it.
Actually,
so that was
it's worse than that, actually.
What?
Right? They propagate freedom, so they then have an excuse to bring in tyranny. Because when freedom replaces liberty,
it's destabilizing.
People start doing all this crazy stuff, and then they need like laws for every little thing. And surprise, surprise, they are the ones who wind up writing those laws. Imagine that. And so then they wind up in a position of power with the ability to like arbitrarily dictate and interpret these laws, which gives them the ability to basically mess over anyone that they want.
And I think we got Drenthi, baby.
Yeah.
Coming in.
We got that. I think this is from Freeran. Thank you, Drenth. Demons use human language not to communicate genuine emotions or ideas, but as a tool for deception and manipulation. Oh, yeah.
Perfectly said.
It's perfectly said.
Perfectly said.
And
not an ounce of fat in that one.
Haraf Nagu for $5.
You read that. No, you didn't.
No. If that string breaks, looks like it's back to the new NYC mines with them popping out like little mice.
Yeah, I saw the string broke, so I thought we read it already. But yeah, my bad.
Yeah, no. Okay, let's go.
All right.
Costly. Like when you think of just how much, management is required, how many taxes we're spending for people to tell us every single thing to do. But a system that's punitive and retributive, rather than, constantly trying to predict and stop crimes before they even occur. And then in terms of the degrees, the last thing I would say is, we're not talking about the Muslim police that go into private homes and are rounding people up. So a lot of this for me, when it comes to the first table of law, and things like idolatry and false religions, the major factor there would be there's a difference between sins and crimes. And I think you have to have that category, that distinction. There's plenty of sin. I have sin. But the state has no business in punishing sin. That belongs to the church, whether it's confession or whether it's excommunication or barred from the sacraments or whatever it may be. For a time, sin is dealt with by ultimately God and through the avenue of the church. Crimes are dealt with by the state. And there are some sins that, biblically speaking, are not crimes. It is a sin, but it's not a crime. So I would say Muslims worshiping in their homes is not a crime. Muslims erecting that 90-foot tall statue outside of Houston, I think that's a crime. And I think people involved with that should have some kind of penalty, whether it's a fine, this, that, or the other. And the statue should be ground to dust.
So this is good because, yeah. So as always, like his opposition always positions him as just totalizing, all or nothing, right? So he goes, no, it's not all or nothing. It's actually a lot of gray area, and there's a lot of room for discussion here. And I have my reasons for saying why I would want these things, but he would work with someone that disagrees with him in the pursuit of cohesion. Like, yeah, okay, fine, you can go and pray privately, but it's the egregious statues, the neighborhoods full of mosques, so to speak, okay? When this is, that wouldn't be allowed in any other religious country.
Well, I mean, also he makes an excellent distinction between sins and crimes, right? Like this is true. You do not want, and the government is basically doing this now, right? Like in the UK, for example, right? When you turn sins into crimes, you just enable like the total state, right? They start like trying to get inside your brain. Oh, you said a bad word, you thought a bad thought. No. That should be between you and your priest. And also the way it's done in the modern West is that, and again, this is a very, very Moorish conception, is that you have transgressed the law and there is no redemption, right? Like, I mean, think of it in the West. If you're tarred as a racist or something like that, you're banned like off social media. There's no time limit, right? It's like, that's it. You're bad forever. There's no forgiveness. You are banished in eternam, right? Like from society. It's a really stupid way of running a society because it totally messes up the incentives. The whole point of having like, you know, a limited punishment or, you know, something like that is that there is a way back. If you shut the door, like actually if you guys are like interested in this, you should listen to my Fistery podcast about the Anabaptist rebellion, because they did all of that stuff. They're like, the door to mercy is now closed, and no, you don't give people a way back, and so you just make them insane. You need to, punishments have to, I mean, unless they're like capital crimes, obviously you need to have a way back. Otherwise, you know, you get killed, and you can sort it out with God.
We don't do that here. This is America. We're a Christian nation. Say Christ is Lord. You know, that would be my view. Would you? So now giving it a little bit more specificity, what do you think about that?
I like that. I like that approach, because I think when people hear moral law, they hear moral police.
That's what they hear. Yeah.
Right. And what they think about is that you're going to have inquisitors kicking down the door if somebody's watching an R-rated movie or something like that, which I think anybody would be opposed to, and rightly so. I believe in liberty.
Right.
And I think that part of that comes with, I also like the distinction of crime and sin. People do have the liberty to sin, and that's why we have the sacraments, because we're going to sin. And we don't want to sin, and we try not to, but it's not a crime to do that. And we're supposed to be given a chance to repent and to spiritually grow. So I do like that distinction. And I don't know that I would necessarily agree with the death penalty in many or even most cases. I tend to be anti-death penalty in almost all, except for terrorists or...
what about murder?
It depends on the type of murder.
I didn't know this about you.
Yeah, I think even murderers should be spared, yeah.
Really? Why?
Because I think they should be given
a chance.
So
you really like the current pope then, huh?
Well,
he just said that.
Yeah, I tend to think that the death penalty is no longer totally necessary. I think in the old days, you literally needed to kill these people.
What are your thoughts on that?
I disagree with Fuentes on
Really?
this. Yeah, I do, man. Some people got to die. Like
He's living out over here.
I am the law. That's for Arden. He wanted me to do the Judge Dredd. I am the law. No, look, there are in my opinion, right, from a purely sort of racist perspective, okay? No, I'm serious,
Nice.
right?
Hey, show your cards, buddy. All right.
There are some genetic mutations that are so injurious to society, right? These people got to die, right? Not just for that, but also for the peace of the victims, right? It's these people like someone like Axel Rudakabana, okay, right? This guy, he just went in and like went into like a class full of young girls, like doing like a Taylor Swift dance thing, and like stabbed like 7 of them, right? 3 or 4 died, and the rest of them have like, dude, I'm gonna like, oh,
you're gonna TOS right now. I can feel it.
I am. Capital punishment is the approach. Like, I'm not saying you should go full Bolshevik and be like, oh my God, right? Like, you know, you parked like, you know, in a no parking zone, like death penalty, right? But for stuff like that, right? That guy's got to die, right? Like, what about the justice for the victims, right? Like, this motherfucker, he's like still alive, right? Like, polluting the psychic atmosphere. And also, it makes you look fucking weak. Right. This is the other fucking problem. This is one of the reasons why the fucking migrants have the correct, by the way, view of countries like Britain. They just come over like, you know, the worst thing that can happen to you is you'll get like food and board, right? Like, okay, I know you'll get solitary confinement. It's not pleasant, but it's not, in my opinion, Africans in particular are much more moved by the brutal example than whites are, right? Like, whites, they do this thing where they, you know, project into the future. I wouldn't want to break the law, the consequences and stuff like that. Right. A lot of people from these other countries, particularly if they're low IQ, they don't have any of that, right? So the only thing that is going to like stay their hand is the brutal example, unfortunately, right? I'm not like, oh, I'm so glad it is that way. It just seems to be the way, right?
So the most important thing to me is shame. And killing them is kind of too easy, okay? Now, remember how the Newtsies gave us a lot of science, right? Now, I'm proposing an idea as monarch, okay?
Right.
A revenue-generating opportunity, okay? So we conduct, instead of killing them, it's a waste, okay? Instead of killing them, we can conduct experiments on them, okay? And you can actually pay-per-view to watch those experiments happen. Them screaming in horror and pain and agony and just treating them like an animal. Now, I believe that also would be a very good deterrent rather than just like a civilized day. You should not die. If you did something uncivilized, well, you should not die civilized. You should die uncivilized. That would be my capitalist.
Look, man.
Of what we do instead.
Torture is that kind of prolonged torture and cruelty is generally not a Christian value. Although if you look at certain periods of medieval history, like
I know
that is kind of debatable, but like generally speaking,
Sure.
the idea is you should just kill people, right? Like you shouldn't like draw it out, right? Like if it's got to be done,
sure,
you shouldn't take pleasure in it. You shouldn't take pride in it. You shouldn't like,
right.
But I mean, I don't know. I
would love to feed that. I would love to feed that in people, though. I would love to. That would feel like satisfying. Now, sure, people would get carried away. I guess. I don't know. I think it would generate a lot of revenue. I think culturally it would be great. Hey, dude, did you catch that? Did you catch the pay-per-view?
I mean,
he was screaming. He had it coming, though.
I mean, in before like sort of all of the legal reforms, they used to just do it in public. Right. And like, everyone would go and like, watch the hanging this week kind of thing, and everyone's like,
oh my God,
that's like horrible. But man, I don't know. Like they're just, I guess
I've seen death videos. I'm
Christians
desensitized to it. So like, yeah, it wouldn't freak me out. Hey, could I put it on the table, Fist? Can I at least put that on the table? It's one of the options that we have.
Sure. We'll stick it on the table. Right. Like, just
Dude.
maybe you could sell tickets to the execution of certain.
Did you catch this lethal throwing stones analogy for gays?
I did not. No, this is after the bit I watched. I think, pretty sure.
Okay, cool. We'll start skipping ahead a little bit.
I think it's cited kind of like the litter sign in Texas. I think it's cited as a maximum penalty and would be reserved. Like as I've studied, if a son strikes his father in rebellion, he's put to death. I've read like a bunch of historians and different guys. There's actually not one case in all of Old Testament Israel's history of that ever being carried out. So it's like, here's this law, and I don't think it's just that it wasn't enforced. I think they knew, right? We have what's in scripture rated. We don't have all the side conversations and things like that. I think they knew like, this is not just like a 5-year-old throwing a tantrum. Right. This is, and even next to it says, or if he is a drunkard. It's not talking about a little kid. It's talking about a grown man with his elderly parents publicly shaming mom and dad with just debauchery and rebellion. And likely, I think we're meant to assume, repeat offender. He's been brought, before the elders in Israel and told he needs to get in line. And there's zero restraint. And it's not just a personal insult, like slap one cheek, turn the other. But he's violent. He's dangerous. He's a liability. He's criminal.
Can you pause it?
Yeah. That to the nth degree.
Then why doesn't the law say that? Right? Like, I get what Webbon's doing here, okay, but laws need to be more specific than that. And in my opinion, this was one of the problems of living under like Phariseeism, right? Because you had these very, very vague laws that had horrendous penalties attached, so everyone lived in fear. You have to know very precisely what is legal and what isn't, right? And for the edge cases, you have to like have culture make the difference. This is what juries were supposed to be about, by the way. This is literally the entire point of juries. So when you have like an edge case, you have the community decide whether it was in fact inside or outside the law, because you're always going to have like edge cases.
Well,
so
when they came up with the concept of juries, obviously they wanted people from all over the world to come here and then be on the jury, because I mean, it doesn't matter what they look like. They're human beings, and we need diversity of a wealth of experiences, a wealth of different cultures to determine how you should be punished in this specific unique culture.
Absolutely. In fact, right, the best jury for like, sort of average white American would in fact be a bunch of like 90 IQ Pakistani goat herders, right? Because because they have access to indigenous ways of knowing, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Sounds pretty woke.
It sounds pretty woke, bro.
All right, dude, get a load. Get a load of this line. I can't believe this hasn't made the rounds. I don't think anybody noticed it for some reason, but this is a killer line.
Can go all the way up, although they never had to enforce it, but could theoretically go all the way up to death. That helps me, like when I think of homosexuals, for instance. It's like, Joel, so do you think all homosexuals should be stoned? It's like, well, bullets are little stones.
A lot of them are stoned.
Did you hear what he said?
About like
Here, let me play it again.
It's like, Joel, so do you think all homosexuals should be stoned? It's like, well, bullets are little stones.
Well, bullets are little stones.
I did catch that.
Well,
I did
bullets
see
are
it.
little stones, dude. How is that not making the rounds over the internet, dude? I have
Bullets
no
are
idea.
little stones. Mate, we should clip that. We should clip that.
That right?
Yeah, definitely. Like little freedom stones.
Well,
Liberty
bullets are little
stones.
stones. So what does that insinuate? Let's listen a little bit. I mean, he's just kidding.
So, like that, like, I don't think we have to pick up, but no, I'm being facetious. No, I don't. But I think that I think it's a sin, and I think that it can become a crime. So it's one thing if it's two guys. That's how the whole slippery slope happened. They're like, oh, we just want the same rights as you. But yeah, but then you gave them an inch, and now it's like, hey, kids in the public library, sit in my lap as I'm dressed up as a drag queen, and we're gonna put porn in all of your books, and we're gonna like. Yeah, so I think that, like, or in New York, a gay pride parade with grown men with their genitalia hanging out in front of children on the side, like, okay, now we're talking about a crime,
right?
And even then, I'm not saying immediately it has to, but a crime, some kind of penalty, and then are they so brazen they turn around next year and do it again,
right.
And do it again? What do you do if it's like the 10th year?
I feel like what Joel Webbon is doing is giving people like some food for thought and some critical thinking of like where they would decide where the line is. And that's why I really like this delivery. He's not commanding you what to think. He's giving you like just briefly historical precedent. He does it in like very short bites of information. He's not going on these big long diatribes, but he's letting you know that like, yeah, there has to be a line somewhere, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be interesting because again, like to go back to the jury trial thing, right? Like you would really need, to be judged by your peers. So, it'd be interesting if like, a couple of states adopt this in the US, right? Like, you get actual freedom of association again, right? You get actual states' rights again. And then you get this sort of like weird division where like all the degenerates like move out of these actually Christian states and all the Christians like move there and then just see what happens, right? You get all the degenerate states like basically collapse into like Marxism and cannibalism and, mass grape. And the Christians are just like sitting by being like, yeah, we told you this was going to happen, right? It's literally in the Bible that like, this is how it's going to go down. You couldn't possibly know that, right? We thought that like mass degeneracy was going to like bring us all like awesome things. And, like, no. Wait, hang on. We got a super chat in the queue. $2 from Double Mumble. Thank you very much, mate. All hail Lord Drenth. There you go. You've been hailed, Drenth. Thanks very much, mate.
Hold on. So Cool Vic, someone that I've mentioned before on stream, has tried to raid me when he is done streaming, and apparently I have settings on that prevents him from doing that. Anyone knows what setting that is?
That setting is whether only people who are subscribed can comment in the chat. I think. Okay. Yeah. Right. So if you turn that off, but the problem is if you turn that off, you're also going to get like random dickheads in the chat as well. So I usually keep it turned on. Basically, you got to subscribe if you want to chat.
Right. Chat, let me know if that is what is going on. But let's continue. Thank you.
Well, that's too long. No one knows who you are. No one knows your name. I was like, okay. They said, so you need something shorter or something different. And I really had no idea. A month later, Trump gave his inaugural. And in the inaugural, he said, a new vision will govern our land. It's going to be only America first.
Yeah.
And I heard that and I said, that's it. Like that. And it's because that really encapsulates who we are. When I say we and like our kind of people and the people that are against us, it's those that that have a sense of American identity, that it's about the American people and their history, their heritage, going all the way back even before the founding, before the settlement of the North American continent, where we come from, who we really are. And putting that first, that's the priority, explicitly identifying as Americans. Then even, what was the point of the border wall? Yes, it's to keep foreigners out. But I thought it was bigger than that. It was a tangible representation that said, this is America. That is the rest of the world. It gave us definition in a physical way. And I said, that's who I am. I'm America first. And that's something that Ben Shapiro could not claim.
Right.
The Democrats could not claim. You could even say the capitalist class. By those, not to sound communist, but
you still there? Fuck. What's going on? Chat, can you still hear me? did Artie
like,
just get
it's
disconnected?
ping pong, but
He's
like
back.
both sides are.
You back, mate?
Yeah.
Right.
What happened on your end?
No. I think it happened on your end, mate. Actually,
What did it look like?
everything froze and you sort of like dropped out, but people could still hear me. So
Okay.
I think it was from your end, man.
Yeah. Well, my internet's good, so I don't know what the hell that is, but go ahead. You just
Okay.
Are we
No, that's
good?
cool. Yeah, keep going.
Are really just two sides of the same coin. And you're right. Trump really, in a lot of ways, said like the reason we keep losing is because both teams are against you. Both teams. Like that's not the paradigm, liberal conservative. The paradigm is the world or us. You know, and I think you saw that early and hopped on it, and that's kind of been your legacy for the last 10 years.
Yes. Well, that's how I position myself, because I look at someone like a Charles Koch, let's say, and say he's not America first. If you're in favor of like ultimate deregulation, ultimate neoliberalism, free trade, the rest of it, you're not really on my team. Even if you're in favor of capitalism broadly or traditional values or something like that. And the same goes for Shapiro or Soros. It was really just about properly setting people on the right sides of the issue. And so for 10 years, I've been creating this space where I didn't, and what's interesting, which I don't talk about too much anymore, but this is very relevant in 2017, is it seemed that there was no faction or no space for somebody that I would call a true alternative to the right wing. You had the term alt-right, which was extremely popular in 2016.
So alt-right, I remember this. Gavin McInnes used alt-right, alternative right. Immediately, they started calling them Nazis and the worst things in the world. Then Gavin McInnes started calling himself alt-light. As soon as you even try to make a word for yourself, they immediately take ownership of it and make it into something that it's not.
Yeah, of course. That's how they roll.
And that label went through a lot of changes. In 2016, to be alt-right meant that you weren't an establishment Republican. Because in 2015, right up until Trump announced, you really had Bush Republicanism, Bush conservatism. And that's just what there was. Individual responsibility, small government, free markets. That's what it was to be right. Even the wars to be right wing. Trump comes along and says, I'm a nationalist, not a globalist. And you just get this flood of new ideas. You get the French New Right. You get the perennialists like Evola. You get white nationalists, white identitarians, race realists, Holocaust revisionists, anti-Semites. You get all these.
Yeah, you see how it's like a vastly different amounts of people. But to the public, it's just white supremacist, is white identitarian, is Nazi, is this. They're all the same. It's all a monolith. But there's actually like just, and that's what I'm realizing this in 2020, all the way back in 2025. Of like how varied these beliefs are. The person that always comments and sends a super chat that's 1488 isn't even a race realist. It's like very, very diverse on the right wing. And I feel like a lot of people, myself included, at the beginning of 2025, just didn't know how like the different types of thought that existed on the right wing, because it really is just driven into your head that it's all just racist Jaceberging, which in a way is true, but it's way more fun than that.
Yeah, but it's basically just locking people on the plantation, right? Like like which flavor of communism would you like, right? Do you want the like communism now, or like race communism now, or do you want race communism later? Like it's just but we have to have race communism though, right? Like because resisting race communism is by definition like white supremacism, white supremacy and Nazism and blah, 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 blah,
which
blah,
is
all
the opinion of the moos that are in charge of these NGOs. Like that's not even, you're not even paraphrasing.
Yep.
These other people that were right wing, like they were anti-left, but they didn't fit that old mold of conservatism. And so people said, this is the alternative right. This is an alternative to what we're getting. And Trump wins the election. And after the election, alt-right became something very specific. And it really meant like anti-American, anti-Christian, because it was a lot of racialists, pure racialists that said, it's not about America, it's about whites.
Right.
Or people that were against Christianity because they saw Christianity's left wing.
They
from
see
like
it as
a Nietzschean.
like a Jewish psyop to weaken the West through like a toxic compassion to eradicate white people.
Yes, and they see wokeness and leftism as proceeding from Christianity, Marxism proceeding from Christianity. And they identified with like the pagan new right in Europe, or they identified with even some like atheistic or secular versions of the right wing. And so I kind of came to realize in 2017, as Trump drifted back towards the establishment, there was really no space for something that I saw this vision so clearly, like a George Washington national identity, pro-America, identifying America with its European identity, identifying America with its Christian heritage, being very far right, anti-foreign wars, right wing on the economy, but not in favor of total international trade, total free trade, and things like that. And I said that this is where I think actually most people are. I think that people want to say Merry Christmas. They want jobs. They don't want immigrants. They don't really care what the size of government is as long as it's efficacious and doing the things they want it to do well. They don't want to fight in wars. I said, like, this is where the country is. So that was my message basically from 2017.
And you blew up into the stratosphere. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. What do you, the whole time you're talking, you like Pat Buchanan, right?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. But every Pat Buchanan has his Buckley, you know, to come and subvert and lie and slander, which that's, I mean, National Review. And I think, you know, like, and people still say it like it's a point of pride, you know, like it's a good thing to be Buckley. And I mean, he was even, you know, from my reading, he was even questioned, you know, later on in life, like, do you really think that Pat is an anti-Semite? And he was like, no. You know, like, no.
It's classic. It's the same thing with COVID. 2 years later, the facts come out. After the war is won, then they're like, oh, well, see, we admitted what we did once it didn't matter anymore. Every single time. Which is why, especially after COVID, I wanted to be like, no, I'm planting a flag in this now that you're wrong. Like I saw it happen a few too many times, and that really inspired me to start making content.
There really should be consequences for like falsely smearing. Something like bearing false witness is like a sin. It is a big sin. You're not supposed to like lie.
What exactly does that mean?
So basically, the original conception is saying that you saw something that you didn't see, right? So, you know, I go to the cops and I'm like, oh, I saw Audie, make an anti-Semitic remark. You got to go and like arrest him, right? Bearing false witness. So you're like, you know, something happens and the government's like trying to figure out. And if you lie, that's bearing false witness. But it's also just to knowingly lie about other people and their motivations and stuff like that. It's a really, really horrible thing to do. And you see it all the time. And there's no fucking consequences for it. Like no one thinks it's a really bad thing. Like people, in my opinion, should be shunned for that behavior because it demonstrates that you're an unreliable witness, that you're making shit up about people, right? And it's different from, you know, you are mistaken about someone. But you know, therein lies the rub, really. Like, you know, how do you tell the difference? But yeah, that's basically it was like a bearing false witness, being a witness to an event and distorting the facts.
Just publicly slandered him for, you know, forever.
What?
Super chats.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Drents again with another 1488. Thank you very much, mates.
I'm trying to turn on this thing in the background.
I remember at the start of the Dangerous Pile of Sticks tour for Milo, he was clear alt-right. He was clear that alt-right was to be the new breed of right wing. Then quickly it fell to the marketing of the moves. Yeah, well, it'll do that, right? Like, because the whole idea is to capture and redirect any dissident energy, right? Like back to the mainstream, just loop everything back to the plantation, right? Like the plantation is evergreen. You must never, ever go off the plantation.
He's always been viciously duplicitous too. Very flip-floppy.
Yeah. And Slackademic Slagent for €5. Thank you, mate. Fist, I don't know if you can be specific enough to prevent reinterpreting law. Custom is always prior to the positive law, like constitutions in De Maistre. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly my point, right? Which is that you need, I agree with you, mate, that you need a culture and a community to fundamentally decide on these finer points and stop that reinterpretation, right? So like, you know, when you get an edge case, you are judged like by an actual group of your actual peers, right? So that they can gather around and be like, look, this guy did nothing wrong. Or, you know, he like seriously damaged the community. The problem with trying to I think this is one of the problems as well. It doesn't scale very well, right? Like multiculturalism is just sort of like the latest example of this. Once you start scaling things out too hard and you have like, I don't know, a bunch of like New York moos sharing space with a bunch of like Appalachian Christians, they're just going to have very, very different ideas about like what constitutes proper behavior. And then when you start like bringing in like, you know, Pakistani goat herders and shit like that, it widens even further. And so no one really knows what the fucking law is, but the administrators love it because they get to create millions and millions of new laws covering like every single detail, and the budget balloons, and they get more power and they get more
Nobody
authority.
knows what the laws are. I don't know what the laws like. Here's the thing. In this day and age, you should be able to just look up what the law is before you go and do something. It could be that easy, but there's so many and they have no incentive to do it, to be transparent.
Well, this is the thing, right? The original interpretation of the law was that everything is legal except for these specific things. And it's meant to be like relatively simple enough that like, you know, even a person of middling intelligence can understand. And in countries like Britain now, what's happened is it's basically flipped so that everything is illegal except for those things that we have specifically allowed to be legal. And this is a massive aberration, right? The law should not work like that, because once you do that, you've got to check with the state, like literally before you do anything. And again, right, this has shades of Judaism, but also Islam, like these highly sort of totalitarian, complex legal structures. You know, there's a law for like how you go to the bathroom, and there's a law for how you wipe your ass, and there's a law for how you like walk through a door, and there's a law of like what, you know, the million things you can do on Sunday and what you can. Fuck that noise. That is not a white Christian conception. That is not liberty at all. Liberty, in my opinion, is that it is that anything that is not specifically prohibited by the law is legal. And because you have like a homogenous ethnic and cultural community, most of the really horrible things no one would even think of. You don't need a law against firing your dog into the sun, because everyone would be like, who the fuck would do that? Right. And if you find like one schizo who does do that, right, you don't need to invent a new law to like say, oh, it is illegal to fire your dog into the sun. Like, you know, but yeah.
It's funny. It's absurdist, but it does get that ridiculous with like, you know, you can't sleep on the street, you know, in certain countries. You shouldn't do that.
Right. So we got more of this, or we're going to go into the next?
Yeah, we're good. No, we're good. So anyways, this is really interesting and I highly recommend it. And there's a good chance that I'm going to find a way to condense all 10 hours. I'm probably going to watch all 10 hours over the weekend. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. But I'm going to probably start that tomorrow. So, homie, do your thing, baby boy. What you got? What do you have? Are we here? Are we queer? Did we lose a news fist? Can they hear him and not me? Am I going crazy? Was my entire last year fake? Was it just a dream? If you want to take down my video, if you can hear me, that would be great. Oh my God, what is going on? I am a crazy homeless man on the side of the road, and all of this has been happening inside of my head. And it's weird to come to that conclusion, right?
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, thank God. I thought I was a crazy homeless man on the side of the road. This is all happening inside of my head. Excellent. So, passing it up on to 50. That was my closing statements for people should go and watch that. It is very interesting. And I'm going to do something with it. I don't know what it is yet. But what does this connect to, Fist? What is so important that you have to interrupt my little Nikki Fuentes time with what? With what? What's going on across the globe that you got to talk about so badly?
Well, it's not going across the globe, actually, mate. On today's episode of Moo Watch,
I'm still in the character of being a crazy homeless man. I'll turn back into myself now.
They're going after the First Amendment, mate. I hope all you Ameribros are like happy to have your First Amendment like folded, spindled, and mutilated. You got to understand, right? Like you need to like restrict freedom of speech to protect freedom of speech. Okay, it makes perfect sense if you don't think about it too hard, right? So I've just got a few sort of like clips of what's been sort of generally going around the internet about the Jewish community, and it is a community. And then we're going to like talk about what they're going after next, which is basically the First Amendment.
5 million Jews in Israel and 5 million Jews in America cannot defeat 1.3 billion Muslims. But if the Christians are with us, maybe we have a fighting chance. You have to understand it's very, very unpalatable for Jews to love the Christians, or to understand, even if we don't love the Christians, that we should let the Christians help us. We should let the Christians help us.
What's going on in the world today, we see that there's a very big divide in the world. The 70 nations are really 35 and 35. And 35 of them are controlled by what's called Edom, the Western world, what many consider America. And 35 are controlled by Yishmael, the Arab Muslim world. That world history is coming down to the two powers, the Western world against Yishmael. And the question is, who stands last in that great war, which is also called Gog and Magog? Right now, we are undergoing two simultaneous Galusim, Edom and Yishmael. We know that the two nations that will last until Mashiach comes is Rome and Yishmael. These are the only two nations that will exist until Mashiach comes. And we want to know who's going to be the last man standing, Esav or Yishmael. By the way, my message to both of them is we wish both of them to wipe each other out. And we all feel very comfortable here in the Western world. Yeah, you know, America will protect us and America will conquer Yishmael and then Mashiach will come. But whatever it is, we wish both sides of wiping out the other party. There's a battle between Edom and Yishmael, and until the end of days, these two forces will counterbalance. But what's the greatest danger in the world? The greatest danger in the world is if Esav and Yishmael ever came together, if they ever united. If Edom and Yishmael ever united, they would destroy the world. You can never mix Cain and Hevel together. When Cain and Hevel come together, they destroy the world. Esav is Cain and Yishmael is Hevel. 2 times in history, Edom and Yishmael get together, and those were the 2 most dangerous moments in the collective history of the Jewish people. When Esav and Yishmael come together, it brings destruction to the world. If you want to know, what would the world look like if the Western world and Yishmael ever got together? Auschwitz, that's what it would look like.
So there you go, Esav and Ishmael. So Netanyahu was he was in town for the New Year's celebration with Trump, giving some Trump some of that special sloppy toppy. Sorry, Trump was giving him the special sloppy toppy, of course, for which he is so well known. Enjoy.
It's a pleasure to be among proud Jews and proud non-Jewish friends of the Jewish people in the state of Israel. To understand that unity, strength, and resolve are the guardians and guarantors of our future. Unity, strength, and resolve. That's what makes the difference. Now, the tragedy of the history of our people is that having been exiled from our land, we lost strength, unity, and resolve. And the consequences are horrific, more than inflicted any other people in history. We were expelled from land to land. We suffered pogroms. We suffered massacres, culminating in the greatest massacre of them all, the Holocaust, in which 1/3 of our people were lost.
And Netanyahu leaves the audience with a message about the rising tide of anti-Semitism worldwide.
The last thing you should do is lower your head and seek cover. That's not what you should do. You should stand up and be counted. You should fight back. You should speak up. You should attack your attackers. You should delegitimize the delegitimizers. That's what you need to do.
Racism, bigotry, and divisiveness. Back when we moved here, no Jews were allowed to live in Bal Harbour. And look at us now. We're hosting the Prime Minister of Israel.
We're going to hear from our U.S. senators who are here and our lieutenant governor. And side note, the U.S. Secret Service will not leave you out until they're done anyway.
So you know, there's that. There's the rising tide of anti-citrucism, right? Well, what are we going to do about it? Let me guess. Netanyahu's about to say that what we really need to do is be nice to these people, bring them around to our side, demonstrate, the joys of being our friends. No, of course they're not.
Say to the entire world, never again. Never again. Never. Never again was last year, in which we demonstrated to the would-be destroyers of Israel, we shall destroy you. You shall not destroy us.
Oh.
Never again is next year, and never again is forever.
There you go. That's the new slogan, bros. Never again is forever. The post-war consensus
Forever.
until the end of time. Okay. Now, here is the new U.S. anti-citrucism czar. Did you know that you now have an anti-citrucism czar in your country, Artie?
No.
How do you feel about that, man?
I didn't think that was possible.
Well, it is now.
Well, I don't think a lot is going. Well, a lot's going to change only because we're starting to speak out and stand up against them. Dude, they have to do something about X, because think of all the clips that you get from X and how easy it is to do the stream and whatnot. Do you know if they have any plans to go after X yet, or they're going to try what they're doing now?
Musk is about to take a trip to Israel. So
terrific.
If they're going to do it, I imagine they'll try and do it then. Wait, a couple more super chats.
Oh, sure.
New GM for $5. Thank you, mate. You could toss tiny stones at reinterpretation in Minecraft.
Tiny. They're just tiny little stones. They're tiny.
Tiny little stones. Right?
The size of your fingernail, dude. They're tiny.
Fingernail. Double mumble for $5. Thank you.
Thank you.
The law is so convoluted. They don't tell you how much taxes you owe. You just have to guess.
Yeah.
And if you get it wrong, straight to jail, like women driving.
I love how he ended that. The whole time I'm going, yeah, this guy knows who he's talking about. But yeah, that's such a good point where you have to do the work to guess.
Yeah, of course.
That's
of
hilarious.
course. They know how much you owe, but you've got to figure it out. Psychedemic agent for €2. The drugs they're wearing off.
Yeah, I'm a crazy homeless guy. Oh no, reality. Please let me go back.
And the new GM again for $5. Thank you, mate.
Thank you so much.
He is pissed because someone put margarine under his kipper. Oh, that is a grave sin.
Right?
It's got to be organic butter.
None of that vegetable oil stuff. That's literally goy slop. Vegetable oil.
Yeah. That's just for the goyim, right?
Literally.
So what does the anti-Semitism czar have to say? Would it surprise you to know that he's very enamored of the kind of laws they have in Europe? You ready for that, Artie?
That sounds really exciting. It's going to go from me laughing at you in your country to asking you what I'm supposed to do in my country in about a couple of months is what it feels like.
I'll have to publish like a hate speech survival guide for you.
Dude, honestly, there's something there. There's something to that idea.
Hated a priority that they are going to not tolerate anti-Semitism anywhere and by anybody.
The amount of hate speech that we've seen during this time, I mean, it's off the charts. You look through social media, you see it even on television. The lines, they're not even blurred anymore. They're gone. How do you even begin to tackle such a phenomenon?
Well, I think we have to have an understanding that, first of all, in this country, we believe very strongly in free speech. It's the basis in our Constitution. And we also believe in the freedom of religion. You have to balance that. But you balance that in two ways. Europe has hate speech laws, probably some of the best on the books, but it's selectively enforced. So if you selectively enforce a rule, it's not going to have any effect whatsoever. And you can see how it's had no effect in Europe in monitoring and stopping the hate. So it's not necessarily the law.
It has. It's made it worse. You fucking idiots. Like it's made it worse because all that's happened is you've just stopped people from airing the legitimate grievance and you've done nothing about the fucking grievance. That's literally Europe in a nutshell.
Laws to mandate hate speech. We have to get back to having the media being accurate. Because if you take a look, when the New York Times had a story and they had a picture of a malnourished child saying the famine in Gaza, and it was a medically sick child with a lot of history, and they had used other pictures from Yemen, 50 million people saw that article. But yet only 100,000 people saw their apology. That breeds hate. By not having that breeds hate. So we have to do a better job in enforcing and educating people to actually do their own research.
Okay. But not on X, presumably, not that kind of research. So it looks like they're properly going for hate speech laws in the US. I don't know how this is going to play out. This is the lieutenant governor of Florida, who just had a meeting with Netanyahu, and now he's saying shit like this.
Wow, they climbed the ranks so fucking quickly, huh?
It's amazing how that works. Well, you know what they say, right? If you bless Israel, you will be blessed, right?
Oh, well, you know what I say, right? I got a couple of really, really small stones for you. dude, thank you, Joel Webbon, okay? See, this guy gets it. He's talking real nice.
You don't have the right to harm other people with your words, and you don't have the right to say things that have really negative, really horrible meanings. When you want people to destroy Israel, that matters. You don't have the right to.
Gee, I mean, this sounds very woke, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, this sounds a lot.
No, he's bald, has a beard, masculine man, strong guy. Can't be that.
This sounds very much like woke. I wonder why that is, bro. I wonder why that is. And this is freaking great. They're basically just pining for the 90s when they just had complete narrative control.
We're not in 1990 anymore, where if you control the media as it then existed, you basically control what people have access to.
But when I say it, right?
then I'm the asshole. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
God.
anti-citrus when you say it. It's incredible.
Yeah. Incredible.
I do think there's an issue and a problem that we face that you could stop every march, which I don't want to do as it happens. But if you did, if you confiscated every Globalize the Intifada poster, you could still sit in your home and consume endless amounts of the most vitriolic anti-Israel and anti-Semitic material and be radicalized by that and be motivated by that. And short of having a Chinese-style system which you shut down and cut off access to the internet, it's not at all clear how you deal with access to that material. That's the problem to which I don't know a solution, but at least we have to be aware of the problem.
Well, at least this guy is saying that he doesn't have a solution. But fear not, bros. This guy has a solution. Do you want to guess what the solution is, Artie? Do you want to guess? The problem with you Americans is you got too much freedom, bro. Right? Too much freedom of speech. And although this was once appropriate, we're living in different times now, bros. Right? So really, right? We need a constitutional amendment.
Network. Shlomo Kramer, also one of the founders of Checkpoint, another big cyber company. Shlomo, it's great to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
How is AI, cyber warfare, shaping geopolitics right now?
So AI is going to revolutionize cyber warfare, cyber warfare from critical infrastructure to the fabric of society and politics and undermining it, giving unfair advantage to authoritarian governments against democratic countries. First Amendment type of...
That's already happening?
That's already happening. You're seeing the polarization in countries that allow for the First Amendment and protect it, which is great. And I know it's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it.
See, there you go, mate. It's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it.
Well,
right?
yeah, but this is for my own good. Like when they started, screening old women after 9/11 on airports, right?
Yes, that's exactly right.
This is for our own good.
Well, because if they don't limit the First Amendment, right, then bad stuff will happen, right? What is that bad stuff? Well, we don't want to get into that, right? Obviously, you want liberty, but you can't have it because of these fucking people.
Well, I wonder what James Lindsay would think of old fucking Shlomo over here, all right? I wonder what James Lindsay would have to say about this,
He'd probably think of his pineapple pizza and shut the fuck up, I imagine.
That is his favorite pizza because we have deemed it so.
That's right. That's right.
I mean that we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms. We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online and take control over what they are saying based on that ranking. The government should
control the social media.
So he's basically talking about European-style digital IDs in order to access the internet. Right. Interesting. I did always wonder where those laws came from, right? I guess they just appeared in the ether, right? Social economic circumstances.
They should do that. And we need to educate people against ICE, and government need to develop cyber defense programs that are as sophisticated as the cyber attack. Today, it's a 1 to 100 ratio. And really, government are not doing this today at any rate, and enterprises are left fending from themselves.
Technology is moving much faster.
So you need digital ID, you need limits on the First Amendment, and you need to give this guy a whole bunch of money. Okay, that's good to know. There is, of course, precedence for this. Maybe you were not aware, but Meta actually had their very own Jewish affairs department.
Oh, dude, hold on. Like, I've covered this. We've covered this in many ways. Like, at what point, everywhere you look, there's a Moo organization at the helm that has some sort of department for the thing that they want to accomplish. It's like 100% of the time, though. It's not a lot. It's not disproportionate. It's 100% of the time is what it feels like at this point. It's getting ridiculous.
It's literally every single time. Yeah, I know.
In addition to my work leading the Israel public policy team, I created a new role specifically focused on the Jewish diaspora. It is a privilege to represent Meta to Jewish communities worldwide. I am proud that Meta's commitment to addressing anti-Semitism on our platforms has remained steadfast, especially after October 7th. Our policies are industry-leading in protecting Jewish people and Israelis on our platforms. Our community standards include policies that prevent harassment, violence, and incitement, and include a robust framework to combat anti-Semitism. Our hateful conduct policy includes specific protections for Israelis and Jews. We banned Holocaust denial and distortion back in 2020. We changed industry thinking on this issue, designating denial as hate speech rather than misinformation.
Ah, I see. See where this is going.
It wasn't just about facts. It was about protecting people from harmful conduct. We banned content with harmful stereotypes about Jews, such as the claim that Jews run the world or other major institutions.
Every time.
The jokes literally write themselves.
What would be really effective is to have on screen 15 different moos saying this all at the same time, with behind them the draping WJC, these different conferences that they're at. Like, what's always behind her right now is to have them all saying this at the same time, that they don't run the world.
Yeah, that's right.
We updated our policies to recognize that the term Zionist can be used as a proxy for Jews and Israelis.
Yeah.
We banned content claiming Zionists run the world or control the media, and we do not allow for dehumanizing comparisons of Zionists. It's a delicate balance between safety and expression.
It's a delicate
but
balance.
ask her about porn, and she's like, "Oh, all of it's fine. In front of kids too, all of it's fine." But
it's
with this, you gotta be delicate. Okay?
It's a delicate balance. You understand?
What if there's another? Okay.
My role is to ensure that the voices of Israelis and the Jewish community are heard in this policymaking process.
Everyone else can get fucked.
Yeah, trust me, you're heard. Shut the fuck up. We hear you. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all we fucking hear from you people.
Okay, let's see. What else have we got? Okay, yep. So we're gonna move on to to Iran. Okay.
Okay.
Actually, before we do, let's get a couple of super chats in.
Absolutely.
Let me see. Penzance for $5 New Zealand dollars. Thank you, mate. I have a 2-minute clip from Maria Farmer specifically on the Moorish supremacy she experienced under Epstein and Maxwell. It's pure gold. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. But basically, both Epstein and Maxwell were like hardcore Moorish supremacists. So imagine, yeah. They're like, if you're not Moorish, like you're trash. Like no. They would never have done any of that stuff to a Moorish girl. Like never.
Yes.
Right?
Okay. That I understand. Yeah.
Bill Clinton skin suit for €2 dollars. The Swedes put banana on their pizzas. So barbaric.
No way. There's no fucking way. Now, have you ever had peanut butter on pizza?
I can't say that I have.
I saw it in a cartoon when I was a kid, and I did it. Very heavy slice, I'll say. But a banana, come on.
Peanut butter and banana on pizza.
No. You do want to, no. A banana, there's no way that's good.
The new jam for $2. Thank you, mate. It's 110% of the time, and often there are 2 J-ish NGOs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. As if there's only one. Right.
Yep. Psychedemic Agent for $5 Thank you, mate. Petition to make one of those intro songs a riff on Never Say Never by Justin Bieber, but base it around Never Again Forever.
Never Again Forever.
Or you
Okay.
could do that James Bond song. What was the name of that film? Never Say Never Again. I think it was called. They did like a whole intro on that.
There's a lot of potential there.
Soul on the Lich for 100 us. Thank you very much, mate. Stop calling us out, or we will keep facilitating horrors to happen in your country. Bibi Netanyahu. The Notice Omicron. It
is incredible.
Yes, the Notice Omicron. Yeah.
It is incredible how somebody has to learn a second language just to make me laugh that hard. That's very impressive.
Oh my god. Modern Magus for $5. Thank you, mate. I don't know. I have questions. Help! I'm being harmed. The people definitely not in charge. Definitely. Definitely.
I have questions. Help! I'm being harmed. Help me! Help!
And the Komate Man for €5. When Ariel Sharon was alive and Aliyah happened, I wondered where the Nazis, but now the Patriots say it was the left and migrants. My head hurts. Yeah, well, just don't think about it too hard. The problem is that you're thinking about it, right? If you just need to relax into the narrative, right? Let the soothing narrative wash over you and tell you what to do, mate, right?
Maybe go on a trip, to Israel. See what it's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
over there, You just don't know what it's like over there.
I hear kissing the wall is very, very therapeutic, actually. You know what I mean, right? They show you the cube if you've been a good boy. Double mumble for $2. Peanut butter on
Thank you,
pizza.
mate.
What's next? Ants on a log on pizza.
Everything's no. Everything's off the table with banana on pizza. Things are still on the table with pineapple. Things are still on the table with peanut butter. Banana on pizza. Who does a fruity pizza? What fruit goes on pizza?
Pineapple is the only acceptable fruit on pizza.
Well, it's acidic, so that kind of makes sense,
Yeah. Ham and pineapple on pizza is actually pretty good.
I'm down with it. See, you can work with that. All right,
I can work with that. Yeah. So we're just going to briefly cover what's going on in Iran, because Artie is about to go over and fight the Iranians for America, and shut the fuck up. Don't think about it. Right. I hope you're ready, Artie. You stoked, mate?
Dude, I'll fucking go gay so fucking quickly. I don't have a god holding me back. Okay. I'm so not doing that. If it was a just war, I may feel differently. Okay. But this has been my entire life. Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan. It's the repetition of it is fucking maddening.
Yeah. Yeah, and it will never ever stop, right? There is no, even if they get greater Israel, it'll just never stop, right? They'll suddenly be like, oh, that other country, they're very anti-Septic, we got to invade them. It's never, it'll literally be eternal, the forever war.
All of their arguments are they're trying to make us stop. Yeah,
yeah,
we are. Please stop, please.
So just to give you a summary. After the sort of, the 12-day war, but really for a very, very long time, the U.S. foreign policy establishment, which is very, very mooish, just people like the Brookings Institution, the Atlantic Council, all of these people that make U.S. foreign policy, also the people responsible for the war in Ukraine, have been greedily eyeing the overthrow of Iran. Because America has to have it, right? Why? Shut the fuck up. Don't think about it, right? It's nothing to do with Israel. Absolutely not. What you need to focus on is the Iranians on literally the other side of the planet. Did you know that they're developing a nuclear weapon, bros? Right?
Yeah, but didn't we melt them down?
Well, no, we hear them, but look, you got to understand, right? They're developing a nuclear any day now, bro. Any day now, bro. Look, just listen to Netanyahu. Tell it how it is.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year. It could be within a few months.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb. Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade. Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
if not stopped,
Yeah.
Iran could produce a nuclear.
I mean, amazing, right? Like how it's like climate change, basically, right? Like it's just any day now, bro. It's about to happen, right? Two more weeks. So the lust to overthrow the Iranian regime and replace it with Zog, basically, right, has been a long lusted after outcome, and there are now major protests and riots all over Iran. It's basically like a color revolution, right? Like kicking off. How it's going to shake out, I don't really know. Now, my suspicion is that basically what's happened is that Netanyahu's gone to Trump and said, we need to overthrow Iran, right? And Trump is like, I don't want another Middle East war. It'll play very, very badly in the polls. I tell you what, why don't you talk to the CIA and we'll help you overthrow the government. We'll do a nice color revolution. It's the best kind of revolution. So, right, like I don't think, well, I mean, I hope that actually it's kind of interesting that I say that because Trump has literally come out and said,
no,
where the fuck is it? Here it is. There we go.
No, Dad.
If Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, they're not doing anything. They're just trying to overthrow the government. It's very, very peaceful, which is their custom. The United States of America will come to their rescue. Okay. We are locked and loaded and ready to go.
Which is their custom.
Thank you for your attention to this matter. So Trump is already basically gearing up, saying that if the Iranian regime responds violently to this attempt to overthrow the government, the Americans will go in. Now, just like to be clear, I don't want to live under an Islamic theocracy, but then again, I'm white. And I have nothing against the people of Iran, and I know a lot of them don't like the theocracy, but they are not going to get self-governance. They're going to get Zog, okay, is what they're going to get, right? It's all they're going to get. And just to demonstrate what I'm talking about here, this is the guy that they have ready to take over, right? Reza Pahlavi, who is the grandson of the last Shah, who was he overthrown? He was overthrown in the revolution, but he was, I think, placed there by the Americans. This is one of the reasons, by the way, like the Iranians have such a beef with America, because America keeps meddling in their countries. I've lost track of how many times the Americans, presumably at the behest of the Israelis, have overthrown the Iranian government. But fear not, right? Here is Reza Pahlavi being greetings to all my compatriots in the bazaar. These are known as the bazaar protests.
درود می‌فرستم به شما بازاری‌ها و مردمی که خیابان‌های تهران را به دست خود گرفته‌اید. وضعیت اقتصادی مملکت تا زمانی که
Oh yeah, right. So in case anyone's listening to this audio, he's basically greeting my fellow Iranians, right? As long as this government is in power, the economic situation will only worsen. These protests were triggered by a massive collapse in the value of the Iranian, is it the rial? Anyway, their currency, right? The currency went through the floor and a bunch of stuff kicked off. This seems quite similar to the way the Arab Spring happened. And the Arab Spring, of course, was also another sort of overthrow op, right? But don't worry, right? Pahlavi's there. He's a good Muslim, right? He's there to oh no, wait. There he is touching the wall.
Hey, bro, you hold on. You don't know where he is. You don't know what he's doing. He might just be drunk, day drinking, just taking a piss somewhere. Okay, he's in the leaning, taking a piss posture. You don't know what wall that is. Okay, you're being very presumptuous right now.
That's right. He's probably had a few, and he's just draining the lizard against.
That's what I've looked like. Right?
Correct. Right. And of course, it's not like the Israelis have anything to do with it. Who's this guy? This is Naftali Bennett, who's literally the Prime Minister of Israel. Just taking a very neutral view on this, obviously.
The Iranian people have a glorious past, and they can have an even more glorious future. That future depends on each and every one of you. So to all the brave men and women now rising up across your country, all the nations of the free world stand with you in your just struggle. Change is possible. There will be a better Middle East.
I'm sure.
See?
So
What? You got a problem with
that? Sorry?
You got a problem with that?
It's not freedom. It's Zog, right? So another reason that this is a regime change op is it's being covered extensively by the Institute for the Study of War. If you've been watching the Ukraine war at all, these are the guys in the West who are basically like constantly like, oh, Ukraine is like on the verge of winning, guys, right? Like 2 more weeks, right? Like Putin's going to be BTFO'd. They're a regime propaganda shop, basically. Mike Pompeo is, the Iranian regime is in trouble. Bringing in mercenaries is its last best hope. Riots in dozens of cities and the Basij under siege. The Basij are sort of like the state police. Next stop, Baluchistan. I was like thinking, man, when the 12-day war kicked off, I did this like whole deep dive into. I did a whole episode on this about like how they were going to like overthrow the Iranians, and one of the ways that they were going to do it was they were going to like funnel money to like these sort of restive ethnic populations in Iran, and one of them is the Baluchis, right? 47 years of this regime, POTUS 47. Coincidence? I think not.
Dude, that just sounds like a Disney reinterpretation of a fucking Arab area, like how they made Agrabah for Aladdin, like fucking Baluchistan over here. That's like East Coast fucking Baluchistan.
I got a bad dose of the Baluchistan block. Happy New Year to every Iranian in the streets and also to every Mossad agent walking beside them. Okay. I mean, it's totally organic though, bros. It's totally organic. And you know how you can tell it's totally organic? Because the Brookings Institute back in 2009 did an entire position paper on how they could overthrow the Iranian government. Which path to Persia? Options for a new American strategy towards Iran. So when the Iranians are like, the Americans are like trying to like overthrow our government, this is why they think that, because like there are literally these like foreign policy institutions publishing papers like this. Look at the options, bro. Disarming Tehran, the military options. They've got the going all the way invasion. They've got airstrikes, leave it to Bibi, allowing or encouraging an Israeli military strike. Part 2, toppling Tehran and regime change. Chapter 6, the Velvet Revolution, supporting a popular uprising. Inspiring an insurgency, supporting Iranian minority and opposition groups, and the coup, supporting a military move against the regime. Oh my God, are we still here? It looks like we lost Artie. Chat, can you still hear me?
Oh, fuck, I'm right here.
We lost you, mate. What's going on, bro?
Let's do some kayfabe right now, okay? Let's act like everything's going according to plan, okay?
Everything is going according to plan. Right.
Terrific.
Yes. So just to give you a little taste of this, the United States could play multiple roles in facilitating a revolution by funding and helping to organize domestic rivals of the regime. The United States could create an alternative leadership to seize power. Students and other groups need covert backing for their demonstrations. They need fax machines. They need internet access, funds to duplicate material, and funds to keep vigilantes from beating them up. Beyond this, US-backed media outlets could highlight regime shortcomings and make otherwise obscure critics more prominent. This is literally like everything that like the West has been doing like for ages. It's like the Color Revolution playbook, right? So when people are like, oh, Alexander Litvinenko was like a hero fighting against Russia. He was one of these people, right? Like, oh my God. The United States already supports Persian language satellite television, the Voice of America, and Radio Farda. US economic pressure and perhaps military pressure as well can discredit the regime, making the population hungry for a rival leadership, which of course they will supply, right? Because, this is the way it goes. And this is Pahlavi again. This is literally from today. My fellow compatriots, today I want to share with you a clearer picture of what is necessary and essential to bring down this regime. My words are especially addressed to the people of Tehran, who with their courage have initiated this new wave of the national uprising. It wasn't initiated by the courage of the people. It was initiated by fucking Mossad, right? The Islamic Republic is striving to prevent the formation of gatherings in Tehran because it well knows that the seizure of the streets of Tehran and other major cities will seriously accelerate its downfall. To overcome the regime's repression, one path lies ahead of us: the simultaneous and massive presence of people throughout the city, and at the same time creating blockades on key axes and main roads. Mate, the French Revolution, it never goes out of style, I'm telling you. To achieve this, first we must overcome our fear and realize that if we seize the streets, the regime will quickly lose its ability and will to repress. The solution is to go in the form of small and cohesive groups of friends and family members to the nearest street of your residence, find each other, and then hand in hand move towards the central streets of the city. I confidently say that with the formation of a massive crowd of millions, the regime's representative forces will not have the ability to stand firm. Many of them will retreat, and some will even join the people. The seizure of the streets of Tehran and other major cities with a massive presence of people is a vital step and a compliment to the bravery of the people who have courageously stood against the repressive forces in smaller cities. Now, again, I'm not against like the Iranians like having self-determination. It's just, it's going to be Zog. That's what you're going to get, right? You're going to want representation, but you're going to get Zog. And I came across this clip. This is pretty funny. This is back in Trump's first term. Oh, what a difference 5 years makes.
Many, many years. For hundreds of years. I mean, it's amazing when you look at history and you look at culture, but you look at the length of the time and the fighting for so long. So we imposed ourselves into it. And look, I've said it. I said it just yesterday. The single worst country, the United States, if you take a look at, what we're doing with countries and the relationships we have with countries, but maybe putting it a different way. The worst mistake that the United States has ever made, in my opinion, was going into the Middle East. It's a quagmire. We are up to close to $8 trillion. We're bringing our folks back home. We have great, talented military. We're bringing them back home. Our military has never been stronger, but we're now acting as police. We're policing areas. We're doing jobs that other countries should be doing. We're doing jobs, frankly, that Europe should be doing. We're doing jobs that Russia should be doing, that Iran should be doing, that Iraq.
This guy's a fucking Nazi.
Syria should be doing. They should be doing this. We shouldn't be doing it. We're 7,000 miles away.
Notice he didn't mention Israel in that speech, though he totally should have, right?
But on the other hand, it is their custom to be a little naughty.
It is their custom to be a little naughty. They're very naughty boys. We should just leave them to be naughty together. So that's basically what's going on in Iran. I thought I'd just give you a little encapsulatory, what's going down. If anyone's interested.
Incredible how you know that, even though you've never been to Iran.
Yes. Well, have you even been?
I don't know how you do it.
And I thought I'd just finish off with this, bros. There's a new Israeli company making fake meat called Stakeholder. Netanyahu went for a visit, bros. Check this bullshit out.
Goy sloppy toppy.
שמיועדת להחליף משחטה לשאלתך לפני כן, פה אנחנו טוענים את המדפסת הזו בתאי גזע שאנחנו יודעים למעל לשריר ולשומן. לשאלתך לפני כן, פה אנחנו טוענים.
So it's a big industrial printer. They load it with fat and muscle cells. Netanyahu's like, oh, this is very, very good.
המדפסת הזו בתאי גזע שאנחנו יודעים למעל לשריר ולשומן, והיא יודעת להדפיס טונות ביום. טונות.
They can print tons a day.
Tons.
Whoa.
Fucking tons, dude.
It's goylicious, is what it is.
Does it need to be refrigerated? What the fuck is it made of?
It's made of living cells, bro. What kind of cells? Don't worry about it, man. Just don't think about it too hard.
Tons. How do you generate tons of cells?
So you select how much fat you want in it. You start the machine. Select print, and it starts printing steaks.
Would you look at that?
Would you look at that? The cells remain alive after they are printed.
What the fuck does that mean?
Only a minute. Oh, and so you see the problem with cows, right? Is the growing of the cows, right? During the 2 years they're alive, they pollute the world. I'm pretty sure this shit is not kosher, right? I don't see Netanyahu and his people eating any of this kind of stuff, right?
Do you want to know? Do you want to know what it's made of?
Oh, what is it made of?
It's Goylent green.
Oh my god.
It was right there the whole time.
Oh my god. It's made out of moose. I mean, like they're not gonna like, you know, print themselves a red heifer and sacrifice that at the fucking temple, are they? Like,
Yeah,
we can print a whole red heifer now.
Could you guys just 3D print some chickens and relax?
Oh my god. Yeah, exactly. They're like, you know, it doesn't require no land, no water, no carbon footprint, no emissions. I mean, I didn't think that they were like so into climate change. Interesting,
right?
A steak is now printed. This is future McDonald's.
Yeah. Yep. Now, my McDonald's, I already don't want to see how my McDonald's is made. Okay. Now, but how many times have we experienced this? Where you look at things from like 5 years ago and you go, oh, can we go back to 5 years ago? Right?
Yeah.
If this was implemented, I would miss my fucking horrible McDonald's that I have now. Okay, in 5 years easily.
This is the butcher and the slaughterhouse of the future, fast food. And the surprise is we're launching a semi-industrial printer today. We'll move over to the second one. It prints fish.
It prints
Yay!
fish.
It's ready to cook as soon as it comes out of the printer, bros. Contains real cells. They're the only company that knows how to do this. It contains real fish cells, bros. Takes about 3 minutes to print.
This is what our tax dollars go to.
Yep, it has a complex texture, and we get to see Netanyahu actually like trying it.
Really force it down.
Yeah, this is fucking.
Can you slow it down? Can you slow it down?
Can I slow it? Yeah, yeah.
Like 50.
Yeah. Just to see his reaction.
Here we go.
Oh, he's digging in.
Doesn't that look good? It's creamy. It looks like fucking sour cream, dude. It looks like cat food. It's like baby food. Look at him thinking. He looks real fucking excited.
Oh, he's real happy to eat the goy slop.
Caught a whiff of it. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Wait, what the fuck is that?
Hey, L'chaim.
Yeah.
He
Did
doesn't
he even
clap.
say it was good? Dude, he's not even there mentally.
He
He's
doesn't
fucking gone.
like take a second bite or anything, obviously.
That was like when Obama drank the water from Flint. Good to go.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's good. All of it's good because of that one sip I took.
Remember that clip of Bill Gates drinking recycled poop water? That was freaking hilarious.
Yeah. Right. It's right up there with that. Bro,
Okay, we got some super chats to get through. Let's see. Hang on, let me do that. Wait, I need to have a grooving cat girl, Deadpool kid. $10. DPK. Your heritage is in the past. We must embrace the future, but we can't forget the holobunga, or else.
Unironically, it's funny, but it's not like a straw man version of their argument. It's just reducing it down to its purest form.
Yep. Rich 520 for $5. Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Yo, Ardster and Fisticuffs. Uncle Ruckus is a black guy I can't find in real life at all, but I keep seeing the reverse. It's confusing, mate.
Oh my god, dude! I love Ardster. It's like he's hanging out right next to me.
Actually, we call that an Uncle Cuckus.
Wow. Do we? If we don't, we do now.
Yeah, we do now.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I just said that recently. I don't know if it was in front of the paywall or behind it, where I was like, dude, you don't know what a race trader is unless you're a white person. Okay.
Yeah.
Soy boys are white coons. Okay.
Yep. John Jackson. Oh wait, we need to clap
them. Clap them.
John Jackson for $10. Thank you, mate. We got another CIA Mossad color revolution before GTA.
Dude, what a way to put that.
Yeah,
that's great marketing right there.
Ironically, like they're probably easier to set up than fucking like making GTA 6. Oh my god.
they've been cranking out this game for a while.
Deadpool Kid, DPK for another $2. Thank you, mate. Goblins need a Holy Land too, you know. Indeed.
That is
Indeed.
well. Is the land? They need a land. Let's say. Okay.
That's right. Suck Duck for $5. Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Oh, hey, I remember this. Predictive History talked about this in his Pax Judea video. Yeah, that's a really, really good video. I would highly recommend everyone watch that. And Drenth
Fucking
for
Drenth.
6 loonies. Thank you very much, Drenth. I work in the food industry. You guys don't want to know what you're eating. Just close your eyes and think happy thoughts. Ooh.
Don't let him trick you. Okay. When he says he works in the food industry, he works at a candy factory. Okay. And he's a manager at the candy factory. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And
how much acceptable rat feces is in each piece of candy?
dude, he but the people that they hire, it is convicts. It is just the dregs of society working at the town candy factory. Okay. Not a lot of good help there at the candy factory. So God knows what's in that. I mean, it's easiest to do with candy because it's covered in preservatives anyway. You know, it's not like you're serving something that has a taste outside of sugar and natural or artificial flavors.
Oh, so Drenth is saying that you are not allowed rat droppings in your candy. Oh, that seems a bit rigid to me, Drenth.
A bit rigid.
Surely someone should start a lawsuit or something. And be like,
dude, did you ever see that video where like they showed kids how it's made and it's just pink slime, and then they're like, okay, so here's the chicken nuggets. They go, awesome. And then they're eating the chicken nuggets, and the guy's like, well, it's pink slime. They go, yeah, I don't give a shit. Fucking no.
Yeah, it tastes good, pink slime.
It didn't give it. Did you ever see that video? They don't give a shit at all, no matter how gruesome they made it look.
Yep. Well, it's I don't know, man. It's like industrialization has just become like so fucking normalized. Yeah, I think they call that like reclaimed meat. Is it like? Mate, I bet like someone in the chat.
Is that like when the government owes you money and you have to like go to a website to get that unclaimed money that you have?
No. After they strip a carcass, right, and there's like still little like bits of meat on there, they like send it through like a high pressure water washer that like jettisons off like all the little bits of like gristle and meat that are left, and then they like boil that down into like an undifferentiated paste, basically. Now that's good eating.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what is more disgusting to think about? An undifferentiated paste or whatever the fuck the moose over there were just doing with cells and creating a fish out of nothing? Which one's really grosser?
I mean,
you'll be begging for that paste.
What kind of cells, right, are they using for this? Because the only cell line that I know that is capable of reproducing infinitely is the HeLa cell line. Do you ever hear about the HeLa cell line, Artie?
No.
Okay. Check this out. There was this black woman in America called Henrietta Lacks. Okay. And she had this like cancerous tumor and they harvested these immortal cells from them. Okay. Right. They just continue to divide. And most of the research done on cells is from the HeLa cell line, right? From Henrietta Lacks. And it has been estimated that if you took all the cells that have been harvested from this tumor, it would be like the size of a city by now. And critics have basically said that this is one of the reasons why science is going like so retarded, because all the cellular experimentation is being done on these mutant cells that bear basically no resemblance to normal cells at all. Immortal cells. Now,
cells are never made to be immortal. This is like the basis of like living forever right now.
Yeah, correct. So, I mean, maybe they're printing meat with HeLa tumor cells.
There is an unlimited amount.
It's tumorlicious.
Well, you can't taste it. I mean, I don't know if it was. Yeah, where are the fucking cells coming from where they can produce a ton?
I don't even want to know, mate. I don't even want to know. New GM for $5. I used to work at a beef plant. It's not that bad, but if you can afford do local farm raised and cut and wrap your own, it's the way to go. Yeah, I agree.
My hands are a little soft for that. More goy slop for me, unfortunately. I really have. I honestly, the way that I can explain it, I have lesbian fingers. Like
lesbian fingers.
pretty hands. There's nothing I can do about it. Ladies love the hands. Okay, very soft. I don't have to do anything to them. There's nothing I can do about it though.
That's
I kill an animal. What the fuck am I gonna do? It's not in my DNA of my hands. Okay, even if my brain wanted to do it, it's not there with my hands.
You're a sensitive indoor American. Okay, let's see what else have we got. Okay, right. I think that's it. Is that all the super chats? Yep, that's it. So I guess when are we back next, Artie? We doing Tuesday or?
I don't know what's happened yet. So what I like to say is, so a lot of the fellas may not have been born like before the internet and whatnot. What we had back in my day was the TV guide. Okay, you had to just come into coincidence as to what was going to be on TV. So I like to offer that same experience to you fellas who sometimes go, "What the fuck? I didn't know this stream." That's how it was back in my day. Why, I remember when they introduced the White Ranger from the Power Rangers, and I had to go to fucking Taekwondo and miss it. I still don't remember that episode because I couldn't just play it back. Okay, I want you to feel. Yeah, this is like Jigsaw right now. Feel what I feel. See what I see. You don't know what it's gonna be, but it depends what happens, right? I mean, we managed to do something right now, even though we just streamed 2 days ago. So,
yeah, I mean, there will be history on Monday for everyone. I'm probably going to do like the disputation of Paris. Now that sort of Bondi has receded into history a bit, I want to go back and cover some more like crazy mooish European history because there's just so much like insane shit. And the Paris disputation is a big event. Basically, you had this like rabbi, he converted to Christianity, and then he sort of took a copy of the Talmud to the Christian authorities and said, "Hey, there's all this like really, really bad stuff here." And then the authorities organized like a big debate in the town square. That's what like a disputation essentially is. And the Moos lost, and the Parisian authorities like burned hundreds and hundreds of Talmuds, and the Moos are still salty about it, like literally to this day. So it's an interesting story. So look forward to that, bros. Oh, we got final super chat. They're just trickling in. It's like Academics Legion for €2. I have lesbian hands could be a banger euphemism. For what though exactly?
You think I just came up with that? Okay, that makes it sound like I know how to handle a lady's fucking slit. Okay, got lesbian fingers. I know the access code. Okay, what are you more insertion? You like a little clip action? I can talk to me. I can work something. Why am I being a Jew right now about fingering a woman? Why am I cutting a deal? Because I've been streaming for 3 hours. That's why.
Drent for 5 Canadian looties. Yo, you pile of sticks. We had a TV to plan a week out because your mother pissed on your Power Rangers. Don't steal the stream from us.
Fucking Drenth, dude. Fucking Drenth. Well, I mean, okay, I was being facetious.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to be happening from Monday to Wednesday, but I also don't know what my brain is going to be like after I listen to 10 hours of, and I'm talking back to back to back to back. I mean, I could probably, I might finish it tomorrow. I always have a Bluetooth headphone in my ear listening to stuff, so I could blast through it. So I don't know yet. But I like to reserve Monday through Wednesday in case something happens, right? Sometimes we want to save stuff for Friday. Sometimes something fucking happens. Like, thank God this conversation happened today. Because
we got a couple more super chats.
Oh my Lord.
John Jackson for $5. I have banger hands could be a lesbian euphemism.
Banger hands, that could work.
And right, UGM for $5. He told me he had lesbian fingers, but all I got was a buttery kip.
That's how they do it. How do you think Ben Shapiro got his wife? Okay, Israeli.
And Psychedemics Legend for €2. I was talking about domestic self-defense. Oh, the banger hands. Yeah. No,
domestic self-defense. Domestic self-defense.
Wait, Trent has like done another one. $2 Canadian. Never going to stop the show. Oh my God.
They're holding us hostage right now. They're holding us hostage right now. Well,
Right.
honestly, at the end, I don't mind reading the chat for a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's hard to do when stuff's going on. But yes, so
Yes.
that is the reason why. So we do plan stuff, okay? But we plan it in a very short amount of time. We don't know ahead of time of what's going to happen in this crazy world. So
yeah,
oh
we
my God.
are a finely buttered machine now, basically, right? Like we've got it down pat. We can like get like a whole show together in like an hour now. It's like, well, I mean, you know, obviously we need time to like research, but yeah, we're a finely buttered machine at this
I mean,
point.
how much do you research after we decide what something is at this point? You already have things lined up. I mentioned something to you and you go, oh, I got a clean half an hour on that.
yeah, because I just research like all the time. It's like basically my default state of doing stuff because
I ingest slop all the time. So this is why we offset each other.
Wait, we need to slap them cheeks.
He's
John
going
Jack-
for it. He's
started-
fucking going for it.
And Operation N has been activated.
Only
Operation
one
N,
time.
N and Sneed.
Only once, and behind the paywall, was there a successful tower built. And it was on New Year's. It was leading right up to the new year. And they did an entire tower. So
Amazing.
You can't always get it, but we always appreciate the effort. So now you can play us out because I'll just keep rambling.
Yep. Okay. Thank you very much for coming, everyone. We'll be back next week sometime. Check out Fistery on Monday night for the Disputation of Paris, so we can like watch some of the previous ones. Yeah, thanks everyone for super chatting, and we'll see you again soon. Good night, fellas.
Thank you, fellas. Got the best, fellas. Have a good one.
Party and fist, party and fist. You can be sure that we're both on a list. Party and fist, party and fist. You can be sure that we make the moves pissed. Streaming through history, uncovering mysteries as to why the whites are living in misery. We keep the audience salivating as we continue navigating through centuries of adventures of the ever-evolving small hat wizardry. Party and fist, party and fist. Let us show you what you might.